Stoppage of progress. At the halfway mark of the dungeon's ascension led many colleges, guilds, and groups to form, alongside bound and unbound theologists and scholars, to discern the meaning behind the magnanimous and the menial alike, to seek clues, no matter how buried, to clear the roadblock and gain immeasurable fame and fortune towards these new group exploits. The dungeon provides, in more ways than one. Welcome, travelers, to the Dragonleaf, the Teahouse where tales are told. If you like the content, leave a like in the tip jar and subscribe to our weekly tales. Leave a comment in the suggestion box to tell us how well we did, or how well we did not have a gag this week. No. Pikachu, help me. What? No, why? Useless. Okay. I just need hydration. Okay. How are you? This is just as awkward for me. Thank you for listening. And without enough ado, it's time to open up shop. Hey, hi everybody. How are you?
I feel like at the last episode of this series, it's just going to be you going through every old gag you did in one big compilation in like one take. And
full 8 hours.
I'm here for that.
No.
Thank you for both having my back and immediately tearing it apart at the same time.
Tamara's just like, no. It's just, you're getting the opinions from all of
As soon as you pulled out Agumon, I hard face bombed.
Second there, I was like, we don't have a Pikachu plushie, and then you pulled that Agumon.
Are you kidding me? We have several. I can see one from where I am.
Not a plushie. We have like hard versions of Pikachu.
I want to actually. We got hard Pikachu with the one with the stubble and the stogie.
The only Pikachu that's valid. Hard Pikachu.
Oh, this
We don't-
Pikachu learned Harden.
We don't fuck with that soft shit. Last time. After defeating the Infiltrator Knight, the Deviants used the Sun and Moon keys to go to the now unlocked manor as a golden path shone down the center of it, and a pair of chain devils enraptured by wealth they found within, defeating them and taking their rest within the manor. Vincent and Selene waited back, and as the rest of the family traveled ahead to await Astrid, the former group sees a scene play out of a pair of nobles who take from the manor during a ball to join an angry mob that travels through the city. As they leave the scene behind, they follow Astrid into the Ashen Forest and exhaustingly follow her through the pathways, where she abandons a pocket watch underfoot, encounters a group of Enthian knights, and then the groups are ambushed and killed by Ludumnian knights. Each group offering their aid to the wayward Astrid, and she is brought to a small military encampment. There, a masculine knight, surrounded in static, hands her a white flower that looked as though it had been pressed between the pages of a book. And Astrid begins to rest in safety as the knights create a perimeter around the area. The Deviants take to rest for the evening, and as their ash bonds close their wounds and ease their tired bodies, not nearly enough, we jump back in. So, everybody, you have rested. There is a rest. A long rest has been received, and at the end of the rest, it is still the early morning, quite a time before sunrise. The ghostly apparitions of these soldiers and the sleeping form of Astrid around you still pay you no mind. Their camp, a grouping of half a dozen tents and one larger tent towards the far end, and all of their gear sit around in footlockers and chests, all of which are physical and kind of sat within this area. If you want to do anything before these soldiers prepare their march, we can do that, or we can just jump time ahead. Your choice. So you find yourselves here now. What do you do?
Can I ask? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was to say, just a quick reminder, we all have like multiple levels of exhaustion.
I was going to ask how many levels of exhaustion does everyone have?
I have one.
Jojo's good. Jojo's got 0.
I think you only had one before and then you recovered.
If my character sheet is to be believed, I have 2.
Okay.
Ooh.
I
think
have
you
3.
2 before the long rest, and I know Matilda had 4, so now you have 3.
Yeah.
So I think you only have 1 left, Damon. If I remember correct. And then I don't know about Paka and Selin. How crappy did they look?
Always. No kidding.
Paige, that's a you question.
Repeat the question. Sorry, I was doing something.
How crappy do Paka and Selin look?
Selene looks very bad. Paka actually looks chipper. As he awakens in the morning, he's a morning kind of person, and you guys are not right now.
Does she
Bladebeak's
look about,
also just Bladebeak.
Does she look about on par as Matilda, or is she like a little bit better than Matilda?
I would say go ahead and roll. Actually, let me go ahead and quickly look at exhaustion. I'll also, while I'm looking this up, figure out whether or not I care about you guys knowing exact exhaustion levels. She looks pretty bad off. Go ahead and roll medicine, I would say. 18. She looks like she has 3 levels of exhaustion.
Okay.
I've decided.
Do we want to keep going if we're this exhausted? Because like, Matilda, you have 3? Or you have 4?
3. Same with Selene. Like I know I'm gonna want to continue. It seems kind of weird that we wouldn't, considering all the stuff that we went through before. That would be my only insight into that.
Just a quick reminder for an audience that maybe wasn't here last time. But Killian knows what's going on. But Damon is. What is our current goal? Like, is our goal to get to like the 10th floor? Are we trying to do something specific here?
Follow Astrid this time. Next time, I think 10th floor.
What I was thinking, like when we entered the dungeon, it was to get to the 10th floor. A bunch of stuff has happened, and now our tattoos are tingling. I was thinking we could see how Astrid's story plays out, get to the 5th floor because we know she will be there. That's kind of like the climax to her story, and then we could teleport back, level up, and then fast track to the 5th floor again, because we can't fast track past that because we've only been to like the beginning of the 6th floor. So
as you guys have also traveled from floor 1 to 5, you know the general time it will take to fast track that. You're looking at 7.6 days in the dungeon from floor 1 to floor 5.
So okay, so 7.5 days basically. So we can just factor that in if time matters to anyone here, because we've been in here for almost a week basically.
And we're essentially, our goal is finish this story arc, like the Astrid story arc, to get as much information as we can, because we've done all the work to keep up with her, and then go leave, and then come back with the intent not to exhaust ourselves chasing Astrid, but just to go through safely and try to push to the 10th floor. Is that?
Yes. Okay. Is everyone okay with that? That's what my thoughts were.
Do we have a few days in between?
At
we
current-
jump back in?
Repeat that one question, sorry.
Just
You
like
want
we
a
were
few
gonna
days in the
go-
city?
Yeah, 1 or 2 days in the city, in between.
Sure. Like I don't. The only time constraint that I know we were under is like Killian. There's something happening on the 10th floor that we kind of heard whispers a bit in the guild hall, and so we don't know. I think a day or 2 is fine, but that's the only like time constraint, is like if we don't reach there in time and someone else fixes the issue or deals with it.
Well, if someone else fixes the issue and deals with it, that's great, because I already sicked Patience and whoever she's planning on pulling through to go to the 10th floor. And they're not going to be faffing about with any like extra story arcs or like weird things they see along the way. They're just going to be pushing to get there.
You're going to arrive on the
which
10th
means-
floor, and Patience will just be standing there with chickens over her head, be like, dude, there's 30 of these. They're all out. Go ahead.
Yeah, but like, so as far as like time constraint, we definitely want to get to the 10th floor, but I don't think we're going to get there before more powerful people that we have asked for help will, because they have a singular goal. Especially if we go back now, like after the Astrid stuff, that's going to be another week that they have ahead of us, and they've already been to the 10th floor, which means they will be able to fast track, right? In the same way that we do the floors that we've been to. So I think a few days in the city isn't the end of the world. I think.
I'm good either way. If we decide that we don't have the time, then I'm cool. If we're just like, nah.
Yeah. I'm good to. I always have things to do in the city. Vincent's always like got stuff going down, so I'm good. with it.
I am happy to be there as long as it takes Matilda to learn how to speak the language.
Mm.
That'd be
when she-
112 days.
Yeah, Matilda will probably be
Nose in book.
yeah, she's not going to be doing anything else other than hyper focusing on that for the next
Cool.
like period of time.
Also, because you don't sleep, because you have insomnia, you can spend that time studying because you have like resource materials. This last long rest, you can expend 6 hours. It's basically set up in days. So if you have 8 hours of time to do it, you can mark that down. If you'd prefer, we can just it's actually 125 because it takes 250 usually, but you have halved that number. 125 days in hours.
It's just
You said I thought it was hours, not days.
No, it's days.
Shit.
250 days, and then
Learn
to
this stuff
learn a
is
new
hard,
skill.
yo.
To learn a skill or a language. So then it's 125 days, and then Adrian has the math of the hours.
Nihongo wa muzugashikata. Takes a while. So as you guys are watching this all unfold before you, they basically remain asleep. A few guards are circling the perimeter at this time. You guys do have a bit of free time at current. Matilda, that is 3,000 hours total. You can subtract 6 from that number.
Sorry.
I'll mark
Languages
that
and
here as
skills
well.
are usually good to learn when we're like, hey guys, we're gonna take a year off downtime. That's
Yeah.
usually
Every hour
good
counts
to
though.
learn.
Like
yeah,
all it takes is 3 long rests, and that's like half a day for you. Or, like,
yeah. It'll
that match that.
it'll be a slow burn until we get a big downtime.
Well, the
Like-
thing is, like, if Matilda does it, she can study for like 12 hours.
I think there's
like-
a limit to how much you can do per day, though.
It's 8 hours a day, and then I allow an attempt to push through. And if it fails, you gain a level of exhaustion, and then you have not gained the additional study time. Yeah, but basically, like you have 8-hour periods during downtime to do something, and then for each day you study during downtime, it's just 8 subtracted. In this instance, it's usually just days, but I do like to be able to utilize long rests for stuff like this.
Mhm.
And then you can't do that with 6 hours.
Well, hold on. The thing is, like, she's really tired right now, like very, very tired. So I personally don't think that she would have been able to get the 6 hours now in this scenario, unless you still want to give it to her. It just seems like I had 4 levels of exhaustion. I don't really think learning a language is just really possible. So maybe we can take does that 6 count with me doing the cipher? I can agree with that. But if it's like, hey, you did 6 hours while you were resting, it doesn't matter. She can't sleep. I just picture her like bloodshot eyes, just like
Yeah.
staring into the distance.
Yeah, just a look at. I love that.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Okay, so take the 6 hours away or keep the 6 hours for the cipher.
You're at 3,000 for learning the language.
Cool, thanks.
Perfect. Okay. If you guys are good, I will shuffle time ahead then.
Okay.
As you rest within the area, you can see that there are monsters about and the eyes that peer endlessly from the edge of the forest path, but as they stare towards you, the spectral figures that continue their watch kind of just scare them away. You await, and then you see as the nights begin to move, Astrid awakes and begins to look about the camp. Eventually, the static knight approaches and extends a hand to raise her to her feet, and the two look upon each other with a bit of familiarity as far as you can tell from Astrid's side. And then they begin, once again, their trek.
Can Vincent read into her look? Is it that of a family member or a trusted colleague, or is it more of a lover?
Go ahead and roll insight. Actually, your passive insight alone would be enough for this. The way that she looks at him, it's not so familiar that it would be something premeditated. She knows this individual in passing. She has met them before, maybe. Something akin. But most certainly not the familiarity of just immediately moving
Yeah.
to comfort.
and
Work colleague's partner that you met at a Christmas party once.
Okay. but
You're
she's not
Jedediah,
immediately
Jeffrey.
Like, oh my god, this is the love of my life kind of look in her eyes.
No, it's
Okay.
more like,
Unless she's real aloof.
unless she's getting the long game in. As you awaken, you begin to once again follow through. 2 hours pass as you make your way towards the forest. And then, once again, encircling, you reach from the entrance, you continue, and you come astride the clockwork forest once more. You hear the ticking under feet as they continue their march, and Astrid actually moves forward ahead of the group and begins to look along the ground. As she begins to kind of glance and attempt to search, the march continues, and you can see that the soldiers just trample right over the area where she was looking. And in time, she basically gives up the search.
Oh, she was looking for the stopwatch.
Yeah, her stopwatch.
Matilda, as you are traveling. Sorry, please continue.
I was just gonna say, which is maybe something that we need to hand to her.
Maybe?
The march continues.
If we stop to look, would it be difficult to keep up with them?
They're moving at a forced march along with an army, so it's like the maximum speed you can move. If you stopped to search, you run the risk of losing them in the canopy where everything gets foggy and icy. However, you can. It will just be harder to maintain distance.
This would be the one moment where locate object would be a good spell.
Yeah.
Very, very not useful in most campaigns.
How about we leave it for now? And if it's not the handkerchief, then we can come back and get it next time.
Just a quick thought. What if you left your familiar behind to look for it?
Oh, yeah.
And
I can do
then
that.
and then after a certain amount of time, we're just like, all right, that's long enough if you haven't found it yet. And then kind of resummon them and see if they still have it.
Oh, would they resummon with things that they're holding?
No.
Yeah. So they would at least be able to maybe find it, but
They could
They
put
would
it in
be-
a specific spot, and then we could go. Well,
Now,
they would
get
know
our
where it
stuff.
is, and it
Yeah.
would it should match on either floor. We
I think
Well,
it would
that's
be better.
Yeah, that could be worth it.
It's up to you whether or not you want to leave your phone here for a while.
Knowledge is power. I love the idea that this flump searches for like an hour, finds it, and begins just running with a stopwatch over its head, or a
Aw.
pocket watch over its head, and then eventually, as it finally sees you guys in the distance past the frozen blizzard that it just braved, it just disappears. The watch hits the ground, and then it
Aw.
reappears in your hand. So that's my little movie for today.
Yeah, Matilda would want the flump to do that. I'd
Okay.
like to do that. Information is always important.
Okay, Gambit. Go find that stopwatch and I don't know, just mark it some way. Yeah.
I will post just this little drawing because it doesn't appear until I finish it. But you send Gambit. Let me go ahead and give you a rat, and then roll for me an investigation check
Or the stats of a rat.
with the stats of a rat.
An
It will be
investi-
proficient if you are proficient.
Oh, I am proficient. So it has a -4 to intelligence.
Have the mental
Plus-
stats of a rat?
I believe when you summon the familiar, it has all of the stats of the chosen form.
Investigation plus my proficiency, which is a +3 at this moment. Or is it a +2? +3?
+3.
I'm fine with it using your proficiency bonus, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if creatures have proficiency
Ooh.
bonuses.
It does its best.
Gambit begins to move about the area, and as you kind of drop him, he begins to just slowly float down before realizing, and then falling like aggressively, controlling his fall and hitting the ground, just squeaking mildly, and begins to just move underground like an earthworm just barely treading the surface. You see the ash kind of flittering up and around. Go ahead, Matilda.
Oh, I had a Matilda actually has a question for her own head of if she's noticed that we have to see Astrid for things to like trigger, but if we don't see her, if it still happens, like if we were like, okay, I remember the time that Astrid showed up here, and this is when she dropped the watch. Matilda and I are wondering if we could come back here around the same time and find it, or we have to actually visualize the holy shit, I can't talk today. Actually visualize it happening for it to trigger the dropping. Do you know what I mean? Like
I think with your passive investigation, and congratulations on the way you've all built your characters. They have amazing techniques. You are aware that situations like these seem to revolve around whatever it is that's happening at the time. You would likely need to trigger the event and follow it through to grab things that have appeared like this.
Well,
Okay.
What you don't have enough information to know with a successful investigation check is that if she drops it there, whether or not it remains there until collected or until some other situation happens. If it was just trampled, then that might even be two different things. A pocket watch and a broken pocket watch, or something akin.
Oh.
But that you do not have enough information for. And you are aware that you are not sure yet.
Thanks.
As the Forest March continues, 2 hours pass from the Dancing Pass to the Forest of Ash entrance, and yet another 2 hours to the Clockwork Forest. The ticking continues around you, and as you leave the Clockwork Forest into the canopy, 3 hours pass. You are now have been traveling for 5 hours. 5, 6, 7, 7 hours. From the canopy to the farmhouse is another 2 hours. At the 9-hour mark, the soldiers continue their forced march, and you can see as Astrid, exhausted, continues to push past as well. I will need a DC 10 Constitution saving throw to continue following Astrid.
I don't want to interrupt, but like me and Selene are at half speed. Are we able to keep up with the soldiers?
By dashing. Yes, you are.
Yeah, I asked that last time, and Adrian said it is possible to keep up even with half speed. You should be at 3 levels to have a reduced.
I guess that's the idea of a forced march, huh? Because
Yeah.
even if the soldiers are fucking dog tired, they can still exert all of their energy to like keep up with the ones that aren't. Interesting.
Nice.
Sorry,
I'm good.
con from everyone, right?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Oh, sorry.
I am
Let me
good.
also roll that for these two.
Where are we now? Sorry,
Nice.
you went through the clockwork to the canopy. Are we at the farm area?
You are treading the farmhouse. As you are moving through the forest, you can see that as the soldiers move within the end of the canopy, you guys, keeping stride with them and leaving Gambit behind, follow them through this kind of just frigid wind that blocks their path. You see that they are also responding to this. And as they reach the end of the canopy and arrive towards the farmhouse, they all stop and begin looking at the open ground, like the open terrain, as though it's impassable. And you see them begin to look around and then eventually point off to the side where they begin to encircle and then follow they begin to sink into the ground as they move one by one down a line. And then on the other side, reappear, kind of just right back on the ground level. You guys following the bridges atop and keeping stride and just staring at them with these strange, slow, languid movements, eventually reach the opposite end and traverse down the bridges as they arrive upwards, until eventually you meet at the edge of the farmhouse. Everybody has succeeded. There is no additional levels of exhaustion for anyone.
Really?
As
I
you-
got an 11.
That succeeds.
Yeah, that's decent.
Oh.
As you arrive at the farmhouse, you look onward as they begin to set up. You see them move forward. They approach the doorway. The doorway opens. A figure appears, shrouded, just nearly invisible. And they speak to each other, briefly. The doorway closes, and the soldiers begin to set up within the area surrounding the farm. And then, once again, they begin to rest here. You guys have the opportunity for another long rest potentially, but you have seen what comes at night in this location.
I was gonna say, is the farmhouse as messed up as it was the last time, or is it more like what Selene had expected when we first arrived?
As you approach, you actually take note that the farmhouse is still destroyed,
Okay.
nearly identically to the way it had been before.
Were we able to try and discern anything from the person in the doorway at all if we like looked really hard?
Go ahead and roll perception. Are you attempting to like see through their form, or are you attempting to like what's your intent with this?
To get any like discernible features or just like anything that like we could maybe Matilda wants to be able to know if we see this person again later or if we've seen this person before, just to kind of like gauge any like physical characteristics or anything that are noticeable, so that we can she's trying to track the story to see if it's a recurring character.
Gotcha. Go ahead and roll investigation, I would say. As you look at the individual, they remain somewhat indistinct. As you begin to, position yourself between the rest of the group of these soldiers that are still remaining back in the farm area, and then the one kind of like scout one who went up to the door of the farm to speak to them. You actually look towards them, and it's too far for you to make out. As you begin to move closer, they remain detailless, just a wavering form. As you look into it, and you kind of take pace between where you are and where the rest of the group, including Astrid, is, it seems like whatever is happening here seems tied to Astrid, from what you can tell.
Mm-hmm.
She never saw this person, only a wavering form. And so that's what it is. It seems like this character remains indistinct or unimportant.
So it was indistinct or unimportant, or Astrid just never physically saw them?
To the story at hand, both.
Yeah, both? Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure that, because Matilda and I are trying to understand that, like, if we're seeing it all from, like, Astrid's point of view, if that happens again, maybe it's something that Astrid didn't see, or it's something that she doesn't think is important. So I just wanted to make sure I had that clarification. Thank you.
There can be situations like that as well, in which that it's one or the other. This one seems to be both.
Okay.
So we know that something bad comes at night, but this time this army is here to fight against it. Do you think we should camp here and then see? Because they live to make it to that battlefield, right? So
looking at and kind of thinking about everything that's happened thus far, do we have reason to believe that these people would be able to interact with the creatures that show up? Because sometimes they're more of just images and other monsters move around.
I mean, they were fighting with the monsters at the last camp.
They were dissuading the monsters at the last camp, but they never actually openly attacked them. It's just that the monsters took note of them and remained away.
Now, here's a thought.
On
Do you
other
think...
on other floors, do we think that has happened as well? That when we've seen these ghostly apparitions, like when Astrid ran for the city, the undead didn't take note of her, right?
She ran away that made it so... Like, she basically stealthed through the city. The creatures that had previously been there as you were following her... I'll say this, because we've, like, in session, we've never established this, but you guys have followed her actively on your way through the dungeon, so I'll say this. She has been avoiding each and every placed enemy to the point where they may have been, like, representative of something else. However, she was actively stealthing through so that she was not known to the enemies in the city.
Okay.
And Matilda and I also have a theory that it's kind of like when you're on an amusement park ride, that each thing has its own track, so that it, like, they never would really meet because they never really met when the story happened either. It's just like they kind of oil and water kind of dealio, because she successfully stealthed that I don't think they'd ever bump into each other. But I also am wondering, do these people turn into the creatures that we deal with at night is my concern.
Well, we've already been with them for one night and they didn't turn into anything.
I wouldn't mind sticking around and seeing what happens, and if things get bad, we can rope out of here.
Yes, or just go the route to the basement.
I think we should stick close to Astrid, though, because I wouldn't be surprised if stuff goes bad, if she maybe runs away from the camp.
I mean, if the plan is to see through Astrid all the way through this level, then we shouldn't diverge from that.
No.
Okay, good. I want to check out that tower that we checked out last time. That was trapped kill. Do you want to come with me again and see? Because, like, last time other people had been there and, like, looted it and left stuff. So I want to see what's in there this time.
So, wasn't there something? It was like an empty chest
There was
It
a
was still-
lantern in it.
But it was still trapped.
Yeah, but I think the people who had taken what was in it trapped it.
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
Yes.
Isn't that where we found the lantern though?
Yeah.
So there was something in it.
Yeah, but that was left
It was
for a
from the
party
other-
member.
Mhm.
Yeah, they had gotten split up in the storm.
The two of you approach the small grain shed. As you stare at the front area, it's not locked. It just swings
I'll magic
open.
awareness again, by the way.
Okay. You cast your magic awareness and your eyes flick to life. You take note within 60 feet of you that several of the, if not all of the soldiers behind you, each have a holy symbol that they are wearing that is alight with magic. Divine as far as you can discern as you stare at it. No particular source or enchantment. It seems that it exudes this kind of just connection to the weave. And as you are looking in on the inside of the grain shed itself, there is nothing. Both of you go ahead and roll perception as you enter the grain shed.
Perception. 20.
You begin to look about, and you do what nobody ever does in any situation. You look up. As you look up towards the rafters, you can see that there is a particularly vicious-looking pitchfork that has been placed up there about 40 feet high. But not only that, it seems to have been intentionally kind of attempted to be hidden in the rafters.
Weird.
As you glance about, you see that there is, in fact, only one small chest aside the second one that had been previously there, not there. And within the first chest, as you open it, you can see that there is like a small satchel of seeds and what seems to be the beginning of a new kind of cache of harvest, if that makes sense. You can see that around you there is just packs of manure. There's set large bales of hay that seem to have been here for a very, very long time. They're beginning to mold and rot. But in the chest itself is a small cache of seeds in a few small bags.
Some seeds. Like
Uh,
maybe Vincent's mom can do some gardening. I don't know.
I was thinking I was gonna bring them right to Matilda.
Oh yeah.
She's more into this botany stuff, so maybe she knows what they are.
Yeah, that makes sense. That pitchfork is 40 feet up, you said?
40 feet high.
How high is my high jump? It's like based on your strength score. My strength is 19. How high would my high jump be?
If you move at least 10 feet on foot, which you have room to do, then you can jump up to your strength score.
Okay, so then
No,
if
it
I
is.
cast-
I'm sorry. It's 3 plus your strength modifier to high jump. Let me double check. Jumping.
Jumping is hard. The math is hard. There's lots of math.
I opened my jumping note. It was completely blank.
I don't have
Good old
jump.
fun.
So funny.
Let me check. High jump. 3 plus your strength modifier is correct. If you move at
Okay.
least 10 feet, else it is half that much. You have 10 feet, so you're good.
Yeah, I don't have jump prepared, and even then, I don't think I could jump 40 feet.
The walls themselves are relatively flush, but climbable, difficult, but climbable,
Okay.
with proficiency in athletics. And Damon, what were you
I
saying?
do.
I was just gonna say, Jojo, do you mind boosting me?
Yeah, I can boost you.
All right, with
As you guys say
little bit of-
boost repeatedly, you guys recall that there is in fact a spell also called boost. I can't recall if any of you have it particularly.
Uh,
Not this campaign.
I'm not attuned
Awesome.
to my wizard hat, which I would be able to cast it, but if I had
Yeah.
that attuned.
a little bit of Simba action, I cast Mage Hand.
Oh, nice.
And then it just extends upwards. The mage hand grabs it. Unfortunately, this is an 11-pound pitchfork. The pitchfork
Oh,
floats
no.
down towards you comfortably and lands within your hand.
Okay, hand it over to Jojo.
Okay, cool. Pitchfork, nice.
You have a pitchfork.
I have a pitchfork.
A particularly sharpened-looking pitchfork that has been covered in dried blood. You can see that there is an
Oh.
attempt that has been basically like doused in hay and has just almost this kind of sap-like just stickiness to it that is coating it. in an attempt, as far as you can discern, to clean the blood off of it, and a failed attempt at that.
Huh.
Hey, guys,
Yep.
if you look around, does it look like someone has used the hay to cover up something? Is there something buried in the hay? Is there a body?
Like up there where it was hidden? Or
No, they hid the pitchfork, but there's hay all on the ground.
that would have been with our perception check, right? Earlier? That would have covered that?
I imagine.
With the 20 perception, in this area, it's like piles of hay that has been here for a very long time. As you kind of look at this bloody pitchfork and you look at the hay, really the only discernible reason for having this hay here would be like horses, and there is no stable on this premises.
Huh. Okay. Just take the pitchfork and sort of move around this hay.
Nothing. It's like full bales. You like stab the bale
Oh.
and you begin to move it, but there's nothing underneath.
Okay. That's weird. We head back to the others? Or-
Mhm.
Yeah.
You return
Did
to the
you-
group.
Grab
find
the
anything?
seeds. Found these
So-
seeds, and I hand the. Is it like a little packet? Is it a little pouch? Like what is?
A small hempen pouch.
Okay, I pass it over to Matilda.
Interesting.
I open the bag, smell it.
Go ahead and roll nature.
Okay. If I don't think it's poisonous, I'll probably be like,
I feel like scientifically you would probably waft above the bag rather than putting your nose in and smell. Is that accurate?
yeah, maybe. Well, the thing is, like, you can't really, like, you do wafting when it's like excreting like something.
Smoke or something?
Yeah, usually you can't really waft plants.
Can't waft the stank of seeds.
No.
Don't you challenge me. I will find a waftable plant. I'm gonna put a corpse flower in front of you within this session. I guarantee it.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, no.
You look at the bag of seeds. They are all long since gone bad.
I'll still keep them because Matilda knows her mental faculties are shit, so she wants to save them for later.
Matilda looks at the bag and is just like, 3 levels of exhaustion. Those are seeds. It closes
Yeah.
the bag. 4 levels. I believe you should have 3 since you guys have completed a long rest.
Yeah, I do have 3.
Okay, perfect.
Do we want to set up some sort of perimeter or just camp out and see what happens?
I think as close to Astrid as we can get.
Yeah, that sounds right to me.
Sounds
where,
good.
Where are we in regards to Astrid, Adrian?
You see, the farmhouse is just to the north of you. There's 2 large fields, one to the west side and one just south of the farmhouse. You are south of the farmhouse, next to the large storage shed that the rest of the party just came out.
No, I know,
next,
but
you
where
can be
is
right
Astrid?
next to Astrid if you like. They're basically just setting up. They don't seem to have time. You can see the sun is quickly setting, and they don't seem to have time to set up large tents and encampments, but they are basically all hunkering down right now, covering themselves with what they may. Astrid is off, kind of just in the corner, and someone has set down their bedroll for her.
Yeah,
Cool.
stake out right beside her.
Alrighty. You all begin to set up.
Can Vincent go over and try and like interact with one of the soldier dudes probably near her camp? Like, if he tries to touch them, does his arm go through them?
As you approach and you go to touch the individual, there is almost a jelliness to them. There is like a willingness. As you begin to place your hand on them, and it begins to move through almost like air, and you begin to wonder, like, can I make physical contact with this individual? It's almost giving you a, yes, you can, if you like.
You have to manifest it.
So I'll go over and with the rest of the group and kind of sit next to Astrid. Vincent is going to try and think of connecting with her, of communicating with her, taking that kind of knowledge, and he's going to speak out loud. Astrid, can you hear me?
Hmm. We think about the systems at play. In what way are you connecting telepathically?
No, I'm just speaking out loud.
Speaking out loud. She remains kind of just motionless on her bedroll.
He'll try telepathically next.
Roll a spellcasting ability modifier check. So charisma in this instance.
16.
Like listening to a broken radio, there's breaks in this connection in your mind, and it's like moving up and down a roller coaster. It's an uncomfortable feeling, but you can discern it. There is a patchy connection, but you have a limited resource.
He kind of turns and looks at the rest of the party. I think I might be able to communicate with Astrid. What would you want to ask her?
Maybe ask her what she's looking for.
Okay. Astrid, dear, what are you looking for? Says in his head to her.
If she says love, I'm gonna like freak out.
If you tell me, maybe I can help you find it.
I'd say roll persuasion, but I know your minimum persuasion. She says,
I'm gonna do it anyways.
okay.
18.
I do swing one way or the other for 5 on a success and failure.
Really? Are you bi
yeah.
too, Adrian? No, I'm kidding.
By successful. As you are looking toward, like, basically if a DC is 15 and you fail by 5, you may potentially, like, you will get something. But probably not what you were looking for. And if you succeed by 5, then you may gain more. 5 or more, rather. And then negative is just bad stuff's going to happen. With an 18, she stirs slightly. You see her move. And it's interesting, too, because as she stirs, you can see 2 forms of her. One that shares this kind of yellowish, just translucent flame, this kind of hue, this invisibility that you had seen back in the Wayside Inn. And then she has her physical form, which stirs. And then the 2 once again merge. And as this happens, she says, I just want him back. He must be alive. I'm certain of it. No one could kill him.
Do we know the name of the knight that is her lover? I can't remember.
Negative.
Okay. We just know what he looks like.
You know what his armor looks like.
If he were to come back to you, if we could make this happen, well, what would be the first thing you'd want from him?
That which has been promised. The connection wavers.
What was promised, Astrid?
Me. All of me. Forever.
Sorry, in my head I pictured handing like a little tiny little mannequin over her to herself. Being like, there you go. That's not what Vincent was thinking.
As you ask this question, the connection breaks. And you see that she reaches into her clothing and pulls out a familiar looking cotton, very humble looking handkerchief that she holds and clutches into her hand as she rolls over and just falls asleep.
Nice.
Vincent will turn over to you guys. It seems like we're on the right track. There was a promise made to each other. Some sort of vow for the future. Spend the rest of their lives together. The handkerchief seems to sort of symbolize that. Similar to like a ring people would use for
Engagement handkerchief.
You know, beggars can't be choosers. Sometimes that's all you got on hand.
I mean, not every culture uses rings.
Mm-hmm.
What do orcs use? It's definitely not. I feel like it's definitely some sort of weapon or something.
He's right here. No, I'm just kidding.
Engagement punch. Yeah.
No, I don't. The orcish culture does not have marriage, as a general sense. Since
Cool.
the orcs themselves have been ingrained within this society for a very short period of time, but marriage is something that obviously is interesting to many people. There's just no like cultural engagement towards it yet. You're on the forefront of kind of cultural growth of the orcs. So make one. D&D.
Is marriage cultural growth?
No.
I mean, the discerning of various different practices is cultural growth.
Okay.
But marriage itself can be included in cultural growth. Or it can be included in regression, depending on how you handle it.
If you're trying to hide an engagement, a handkerchief is a lot more inconspicuous than a ring with a giant gem on it, which I think a lot of noble people do. It's the more fancier and louder the piece or item that shows that you're getting married, the better, from what I've seen. So I think the handkerchief was a way for them to keep it secret.
Also roll investigation. As you are actually, pretty much everybody here, as you are all theorizing about this, may roll this.
I also had my hand up. I have a thing I want to do when we have a sec.
Absolutely.
19.
19.
16.
16. Baka is not rolling this investigation.
Oh, I should be rolling this.
And Selene is barely paying attention.
Do monstrous, like before they came to Ashfall, did they marry, or did they just have kind of their own, like, 'cause I know that like goblins aren't particularly bonded partners, anything like that.
There are different cultures included within kind of the one tribe and the dungeon board. The Centaur have a extensive marriage kind of marriage ceremony, and they almost have a civilization built around it.
Okay.
There's a lot of interest there. However, for the most part, like the bugbears, the lizard folk, the goblins, the hobgoblins have no such like connective desire. A lot of people it's like not monogamous in the slightest.
I think Lizelle didn't choose a partner, but it's like ducks. They just have a partner for life. There's no necessary
Precisely.
ceremony.
You
They're
ducks
little
do that?
ducks.
Little ducks.
I assume that ducks don't marry, but that's just my guess.
No, I just didn't know they were monogamous. I didn't know that
Swans
like,
Yeah.
are
were
monogamous.
rapey.
No, swans are monogamous, as well as penguins, and
I'm pretty sure ducks
And-
are too.
no, they're not.
Duck
No.
facts.
They're not.
The
Uh,
documentary I saw specifically on ducks lied to me.
Circling back to the investigation check previously, Killian, you have go ahead and roll one more for disadvantage.
Oh, I have disadvantage.
I mean, you have an 8, so I will just say that failed in the first place. You
I just
have
assumed so, yeah.
you have one level of exhaustion, which I believe is disadvantage on ability check.
I went to go look up are ducks monogamous, and the first thing that comes up
Nope.
are ducks birds.
Is the sky real? As you are all sitting back and theorizing over this situation, Vincent and Jojo,
Yeah.
and Vincent again with your disadvantage check, you all realize, or at least think on these cultures, and there's a lot of similarities between this culture and like the human culture, especially those of the Altician faith, which Jojo you are familiar with through study, and Vincent you are familiar with. As you think about it, this seems like not only just a show of favor, but an exchange. So these favors were not exchanged one to the other, but just given freely. However, one given for another. If she has a humble bandage, if she has a humble handkerchief, you can only assume that someone else has a gilded one.
Oh. So
Mhm.
maybe we need to get that one if she wants her own handkerchief, possibly. So we might need to get that from him, possibly.
That would be a little bit more tricky. The
Yeah,
only time we've
for
ever
sure.
seen him, he was thousands of feet up in the air.
Yeah.
He's always talking about how, like, he can't die, right? Like,
I don't think we've...
not in like it's sad of like he's immortal, but like she doesn't want him to die,
Mhm.
which means if there's a gilded hanky that she gave to him, if he's already dead somewhere, it's just a matter of finding it.
Yeah.
Well, Rest up, everyone, except for Matilda. I don't know if you rest here, but whatever you do, the equivalent of do that.
I'll try and call Gambit back. Does Gambit come back? Did they get eaten while they were away?
Poor Gamby. You summon your small flump who appears, and you can see they're just kind of shivering a little bit. But as you kind of just bring in the warmth, you can see that the inside, almost like this phosphorescent, constant warbling through the body, begins to move in. The tiny little hairs on the end of the tentacles ignite, and the eyes just like pull back into the head as it begins to attempt to warm itself. Sitting back, you connect in with Gambit's mind, and Gambit lets you know that they have found it. They found the location of this individual item.
Okay, great, good.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you mark it with?
There's a long silence.
Did they forget to?
They did not.
Okay, I'm sure you remember.
It just pulls its eyes the rest of the way into the body and hunkers down.
I bet.
Matilda looks very skeptical at you, saying, "You'll remember," to this weird macaroni rat.
Macaroni rat's so good.
I just picture a rat made out of when a kid like puts macaroni on paper, as it just makes.
It's just a little.
Like me.
It's a little root made out of spagoodle. What's weird about it? You all begin to take down for your rest. Here's the fun thing: as you rest here, nothing happens throughout the evening.
Huh.
You take your individual watches. Okay, continue.
Before, while all this was happening with like the Astrid stuff and them like looking in the house, Matilda was meticulously going through the camp and like looking at each guard, taking note of what they look like, if she get any facial features, if there's like certain weapons that they have that are like special, or there's like ranks on them, like any way you can differentiate them. She's wanting to just like get that information down.
Let me throw these down for you. As you take individual glances towards these, you do see their face. Most of their face is exposed. You can see that from the battle that you had been in previously, they share the same, just ramshackle clothing. Wearing what they can, how they can. However, their tabard and their sigils shone and flown with the utmost respect. As I will show you here. Wearing white and gold and green tabards, and wielding long spears for the most part, sparse metal wherever they can afford it, and shields emblazoned with a gold field of crowned tree frogs. From this...
Oh, we're with the frog people right now.
You are.
Ah.
As you look upon them, you can see that there is a clear division of rank. As the next level up, those who seem to be, at the very least, some form of higher within the society, wear almost full plate mail. There is only 2 among the ranks here. However, they wield fascinating-looking spears and weapons at their waist, and their shields on the back, this kind of like large metal with leather rim and trim. They're much more decorated. You also kind of gain a bit of understanding of their culture through this. So go ahead and roll investigation. Looking towards their culture, there seems to be not a militaristic approach based on the amount of money that's been going into their military, but definitely a military respect almost that goes into this. As the people who sit with the armor and are, you can see they have removed it for the most part and placed to the side, but they sit in a very respected position. However, they are not sleeping in any better accommodations than the rest. They are down in the muck, and they are sleeping in with the masses as they would normally. This to you tells you that, that basically. And as you continue to focus in on them, the faces are those of young men and women, farmers, workers, some warriors, as you can discern from them, some jaded, some not, some idealistic from the way that they sleep, just like.
Can I look at their features or their skin tone or anything like that that can tell me where in the world they might be from?
For the most part, they're relatively tan. They have very prominent cheekbones, as far as you can discern from the nature of them. Go ahead and also roll nature.
And then I also want to compare them to like Astrid. See if, like it's a very clear difference in region. Can I guide myself?
Yeah, absolutely.
Heck.
Okay.
Disadvantage sucks.
No additional insight in this regard.
Okay.
You move to Astrid, and just quickly, we'll finish this one up. She is definitely different. She has much softer features. She has very, very, very pale skin, which would indicate almost a complete lack of sunlight through the life. And as she rests, she has a frail demeanor and a frail body.
Sheltered life.
Also, their holy symbols, are they just frog symbols, or do they look like the Altisha one? Or
The holy symbols. The holy symbols are prominently the ones that you had previously seen within the Altitian, not Altitian, sorry, the Sun Church previously, the one with the archaic 10-pointed star.
Mm-hmm.
And
So it looks
Jojo,
like an old one. Okay, cool.
indeed. And Jojo, you had your hand raised.
Yes, I just wanted to do another magic awareness with like the pitchfork, the seeds, and the handkerchief all within my eyesight.
In the seeds, there is a single one that produces this kind of just featureless magic, a connection to the weave with no particular direction to it.
Weird. I'll take that
like a
one out
conduit.
specifically and put it in a vial. Hey, Matilda, do you have a vial? This one's magic.
Yeah, I have a vial.
Put that in there.
I think you have 8 vials.
Yeah, I have a lot of vials. I always, I'm gonna have to stock up
You
soonish.
label them. It's not like
Yes.
specifically magical. It's got a connection to the weave, but like not a specific school of magic. It's
Okay,
weird.
hold on. So vial. So what is it?
It's just got a connection to the
No,
weave.
what is the object?
Oh, it's like a seed.
Seed.
like- Yeah, it's one of the rotten seeds, or is this one rotten?
It still looks rotten, yes.
Okay.
And the pitchfork is non-magical.
Okay.
And what was the third thing you were looking at?
The handkerchief. And I'll also like do it while in view of the one that's currently in Astrid's hands in like the past vision. Past vision? Out.
The handkerchief is the one that you hold. Is non-magical.
Okay.
And the one in her hand is non-magical.
Okay.
Sorry.
Great. Thank you.
What
Alrighty.
floor are we on again?
4.
You are on 4. Alrighty. You all hunker down for a rest. Selene approaches you, Vincent, and just kind of leans down and takes rest next to you, and then begins to snuggle up Small Spoon.
He doesn't do anything. He just allows this. Let me know if you need anything, dear. You look absolutely exhausted.
It took 3 months worth of effort to get over here.
Yeah, well, we did it in an evening, so.
We gotta go through the fucking hot place.
You still got that armor I gave you?
I gotta walk across an ocean now. Thank you for that. It's definitely helping. I've noticed that you kind of get steamy.
I do that a lot, do you? What specific moment do you mean?
Is that normal? The one where you're physically, literally steaming when it's hot out.
Huh. Well, you could say it's just a benefit of my family heritage.
Did you like get injected with a really expensive serum or something?
No, dear. For the same reason I have horns and fangs, my skin's a different color. The same reason I steam. I'm a tiefling. I'm somewhat resistant to the elements because of my ancestry.
For the most
Doesn't
part.
hurt quite as bad, so. And it, it makes me look good.
We were taught ways to kill tieflings. We weren't taught ways to discern them. Like, I have eyes. I can look at you. But
Kind of hard to miss a tiefling, to be honest.
it is. But for the most part, it's just humans
Also,
and non-humans.
Let's rewind a tiny bit. You were taught to kill tieflings?
Yeah. We were taught to kill lots of people.
You're not going to use this information, are you, dear?
Would you like it?
Not well. Maybe in the future, if we come across an enemy that you might have some insight on, it would be useful. But there's no one I really want to flambe right now.
She just kind of like leans back and says, I'm not gonna. No, I'm not a fan of killing.
Well, the dungeon brings a lot of obstacles our way. Sometimes it's necessary to progress.
Well, let's limit it to monsters as much as we can. And not the good kind. She like looks over towards Killian.
Of course.
Leon's probably not even paying attention.
And she closes her eyes.
Vincent is going to shuffle his position before she snoozes off and let her like put her head on his lap. And he'll sit up kind of a bit, and he'll on his like weird instrument, the one that Ungal, whatever his name is, gave him. He's gonna play a little bit of a lullaby.
A deep resonant lullaby rings out throughout the area. You see that as you play this, there almost seems to be like an accompaniment that follows you, though it's not an instrument that you recognize. It's a very, very twangy kind of steel instrument as far as you can discern. And it begins to ring out. As you look around, you take note that there is one soldier who is on watch, who has pulled out what amounts to a small handheld item and is playing. But as they play, it almost goes in tune with yours.
Vincent will, still keeping with the lullaby, just change it slightly just to see if this person keeps up. Like maybe through the sort of connection he had with Astrid, music has a similar one with the other beings of the dungeon. Does he change with him?
It does. It is currently, it's almost like you are manipulating this individual's tune as you are playing it. It seems to match yours.
Interesting. Okay. He'll just enjoy the rest of his song and nestle that information away to see if it's useful later.
At the moment you stop playing, their song immediately shifts back to what you can assume they were playing originally, which is just kind of like this is a practice and not a very good one. And you begin your rest. As the night continues and comes to the early morning, you see that the grouping of people begins to rise. Nothing untoward occurs during the night, and as the one soldier who had previously gone up to the farmhouse once again approaches, the person at the front who opens the door, still unknowable. As the soldier produces a small coin pouch and hands it to them, they just give a nod and close the door, boom, slamming it. The knights prepare and once again begin to move. You all stand up, one level of exhaustion fewer. Let me go ahead and reduce this.
I have no more levels of exhaustion.
Yeah, we'll see.
For now.
Someone is gone. Jojo, were you deleted somehow? Oh, you were moved over, Matilda.
Yeah.
I see. Matilda was Jojo was hiding beneath Matilda.
It doesn't really matter because I'm not using it, but I do still have access to Killian. So I could be like, no, Killian, you're here.
Let me remove that from you. And as you all get up and prepare to move, the soldiers begin their march. Is there anything that you do? You see the front door of the farm open, and the farm farm owner, as far as you can discern, just stares as the procession leaves.
I just stick to close to Astrid, right?
As we're starting to follow along, and Vincent sees this individual, can he detect thoughts on them? To see what they're thinking about?
Ooh. Roll a charisma check as well. Or again, you may add your proficiency. Do one of these. 21. You connect into this individual and you find a strong connection. As you are listening in, the mind of the individual is going back and forth on the surface thoughts of worry and anger. Something like, oh, you come into my home and try and just get out, just leave. It's all coming to a head soon. Seeing soldiers traveling the roads, it's not going to be pretty. We're close to Nth now. I just hope the fucking soldiers don't find out. At least the rest of them would. I didn't bury. And then they go back towards the door and close it.
Okay. I didn't really understand the last, like, he's against these soldiers, or he was talking about the other soldiers?
As he was speaking, he's basically like, these Lodumnian soldiers have showed up. Screw them. Get them out of here. I sure don't want the Enthian soldiers to find out. At least the ones that I didn't bury.
Okay, so he was against the Enthian ones. Okay.
And he killed some Enthian soldiers, and he doesn't like these guys. He's just
Yeah.
anti all of them.
He probably used a pitchfork. That's why it's bloody and hiding.
Ah, look at that.
And then the soldiers begin their march. This. Okay, that's far too far away on the stream screen, my friend. As you all look onwards towards the distance you follow behind, nothing of particular note happens. They begin their march, and as they do so, they make their way from the farmhouse into a verdant green plain. They do not take any kind of underground movement. They begin to stride through to the north, and as they do so, the distance, this just infinite forest, shifts before you, and you see the trees just dissipate. They continue traveling for 3 hours, and as they reach the plains, everybody roll initiative.
Ooh.
Have we heard the word Enthian before?
Yeah, the Enthian longsword. That's like
And
the
I
lion
have a
people.
longsword in my hand.
Yeah. And we always knew the line people were called the Enthian Knights. That wasn't a surprise to
Okay,
me.
sorry, and my brain's trying to remember all the information.
I will roll
Lore.
combat as soon as the initiative is initiatized.
You all arrive, walking forward with the marching army, Astrid astride. And as you look forward, you can hear, before you see, the footsteps. A march. Close to a dozen or more. You hear the movement of metal plates upon each other and the sound of metal scraping against ground. Until they come into view. This plain, relatively beautiful. You can see serene, wind pouring through. At least it is for a moment. Everybody roll a dexterity saving throw.
Oh boy. It's happening.
Only
see it.
people
Roll
with
initiative or dex save first?
not a current. I'll bring you over when appropriate.
Do I see it?
Indeed, everybody. You do see it. In fact, you're familiar with it.
But was it that catapult thing that was coming at her before?
Maybe. Okay. Killian, do you have yours in there? Oh, there it is. 22. Bladebeak. Is Gambit still here? Did you de-summon Gambit?
It'd been a whole long rest.
Gambit. I think that I'll say that Gambit is here. So I will
Okay.
roll for Gambit. Roll
I'll
for
roll a
rat.
dex save for Gambit.
No.
I'll just roll a 20. Figure out what's that. That's a 9, probably minus something.
Congrats
I'm
on
gonna
dex.
go ahead and say that probably
0.
fails. Okay.
Yeah.
As you are looking forward, you can hear the marching of the soldiers in front of you as a small platoon of Enthian knights comes into view. You can see that there's a bit of dissent in the ranks of the soldiers that you are currently in as they prepare for battle, but they scramble. The knights on the Enthian side who stand with you raise a hand and point forward as boom, 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 boom. 4 massive flaming just balls of pitch and tar fly in towards you. One of which
Hi.
manages to land directly in the center of your guys' ranks. This is all happening like just in a matter of seconds. Your guys' dex save was your attempt to get out of the way. Let me check
I
something.
was wondering if I could throw myself in front of Selene, knowing that I'm more fire retarded than she is.
You jump forward to throw yourself in front of Selene as you look over, and she is like just responding with an immediate flash, kind of like turns and begins to lunge to the side as she grabs your hand and begins to move aside you. Noted. But she fucking is out of this radius as soon as she notices anything happening.
I just wanted to give her some advantage. It's good.
Mm-hmm. As you all find this flaming ball fly in the middle of the air, you can see the ropes that are holding it apart begin to just immolate, light, break, and just shrapnel of stone comes in towards you. As you all attempt to dodge out of the way, Paka avoids the most of it, Selene avoids the most of it, and it seems like the rest of you get buffeted by flaming stones. You take 13 points of bludgeoning damage. Killian succeeded, so Killian, you take half of this.
Absorbs a lot of it.
Tink, 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 tink.
You said 13 bludgeoning?
13 bludgeoning. So you guys may count that as you may. And then an additional 7 points of fire damage.
The staff will suck in half of that, so that's a 3.
And we've established that Matilda would have had her false life up, right?
Mm-hmm. With the maximum possible.
So plus.
I'll figure that out.
That's 20 total, right? If we don't have
20 total.
Anything. Okay.
Well, you succeeded your dex save, so for you, both are halved, so it's 10.
Right, but Blade Beak, not so much.
Precisely. As the flaming shrapnel lands around you, you guys see the ground around you begin to ignite as the flaming pitch stones begin to leak oil from the center of them. You take a glance down at some of these, and you can see that some of these small beats of shrapnel are actually granados. You can see that they are like this just solid black stone brick, and this just siege weapon that has been unloaded upon you just keeps on giving. The location that you are right now is going to explode shortly. As you are all looking around, the flame begins to become a prominent feature of this area. The ground scorch, the oil begins to seep out, and the first volley of flame came directly for your group. The other 4, all in an area behind to block your retreat.
Ooh.
As the flame continues to spread,
Us.
the soldiers in front of you, unaware of the nature of these tactics and unfamiliar with their readiness, this is prepared ahead of time. Something went wrong. Vincent, you look about the soldiers and you can see almost a look of just pure surprise and shock as this is happening. They did not expect this. As this occurs, the soldier from behind, the static-induced soldier, begins to stride forward to the front of the area and pulls out a sword covered in static and reaches back towards their back to pull out a shield, taking the front as the other 2 knights of the area join astride them. On the other side, once again, a hand raises and closes. And you hear above the battlefield.
Yeah, the bird.
A massive eagle streaks from behind. A woman wearing Valkyrie-like armor atop, holding a spear that leaves and just wreaths in golden flame as she, with one blow, a massive wave of flame erupts throughout the battlefield, and what remained of the green is gone in a matter of seconds. Now I return you to where once you came. Everybody roll initiative. The black smoke that rises from the ground begins to obscure your vision. And with a small contingency of soldiers on your side, you stare forward towards the enemy. Actually, let me go ahead and remove all of these guys.
Why was my at disadvantage?
Because you still have a level of exhaustion.
Exhaustion.
Exhaustion is considered a ability check, so if you have a single level of exhaustion, you'll have disadvantage on it.
Oh, on initiative? Initiative.
Initiative, yeah.
It did the same for me, even though I don't have it.
I didn't notice my character sheet had a level exhaustion on Foundry, but I've been tracking on the other website. So
Was
I
there?
think you do still have one, probably.
That's just a condition that I can place on you. So what is everyone's current level of exhaustion? Let's set that.
0.
0.
0. Okay. We'll have to mention that when we gain or lose exhaustion. Selene is correct.
I deleted mine. I have 2.
You have 2? Okay. You should have 3. No, you should have 2. You're right. And then Bladebeak has 7. Killian, how many do you have?
0.
0? Okay, let me go and just remove that. That's correct. Vincent, you have none. Selene, Selene and Matilda, worse for wear, still have exhaustion. You should have 2, not 3. There we go. Desaulniers should have 2. Perfect. So, I have not even looked at your guys' initiative yet. I'm just gonna... If you guys want to re-roll it, I'm gonna hit this button here.
Okay.
You want me to re-roll it
It's
too?
worse.
Yes.
I like it because I have no idea what I want to do. I know, like, soon I get advantage on initiative checks, and I'm like, no, I don't want it. And I have to be prepared on the spot.
rolled
Blade
a-
Beak and Vincian.
I rolled a 19.
Beforehand?
Yeah.
Was your exhaustion correct?
I already removed myself and status effective exhaustion, so I didn't roll with disadvantage.
Okay, gotcha. Then you can retain that one. Blade Beak.
Just goes at the end of my initiative.
Perfect. So let me put that as 19.13.
Oh, look at Astrid. She's so pretty.
Mhm.
You all glance forward. Not to dissuade your statement, Candace. Not changing the subject. Very, very
Just the
pretty people.
explosion happens, and I see Astrid. I'm like, oh, so pretty.
She just, I dodged it. Not canon. As you all look onwards towards the fight, the soldiers in front of you, scattered, lose their first turn in combat. And as their turn ends, you see them and the knights accompanying them, Astrid, and the knight in static slowly fade away. As what
Oh.
remains is a contingency of soldiers staring directly at you.
Oh boy.
Paka. Does anybody want Paka to do anything? He's looking towards this fight, and I'm gonna extend 5 feet of movement here because he strides forward in front of you all and says, "Come on! Don't fight me, please!" Holds up his sword. As at first it looks like bravado, but then clearly he spins it around in order to surrender immediately. And he turns around towards you guys and is like, "Was that good?"
Yeah.
Yes.
Maybe prep a potion. Be ready to run.
Holds out a potion and just kind of like steps in place and prepares for the fight. He is then going to reassume his position over here, go just a little bit prone to hide himself underneath this little slump of
One.
stone there.
Stay safe, Paka.
Do the knights up ahead look like they have ranged artillery that they're throwing at us, or is it like all of them are wielding swords?
From what you had seen before, these people also have, on top of their spears, they have magic.
Okay, but they can also just huck a spear then.
That's true, but it's not exactly easy, I'd say. Killian, as the combat begins, you look onwards towards this platoon of knights. What do you do?
All right. How's everyone, like, health-wise? We've rested, so everyone's fully
We just got bombarded.
other than the bombarding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
looks-
Other than that, we're good.
Okay. Other than Bladebeak, who failed the bombarding check? You? Okay. Are you?
I
like-
did as well.
Oh, I failed.
Okay. Killian's gonna use her last level 1 spell slot. Oh no, wait, we long rested, right?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
learned
You should be fully up on everything.
Okay, never mind. Change my mind. Alright. Killian's gonna start off just by casting Warding Bond on Matilda.
Oh, thanks, Killian.
As the
Hands you a platinum ring and tells you
No,
to put it on.
all the platinum rings have already been divvied out amongst the party. So Killian just kind of like grabs your hand, whichever hand you have the ring on, assuming you have it on and it's not just like in your pocket somewhere, and then kind of like clasps the hand, and then takes out her little hammer and just like one swift hit, which doesn't hurt but kind of rings out a tone between the two of us. And that is her action. And then she's just gonna have Bladebeak take like the dodge action and stand near to whoever's essentially in the back with like range. But Killian's gonna hop off Bladebeak and step forward.
Matilda would have smiled at you and squeezed your hand.
Give it a squeeze and a smile.
I'm,
and then
I'm putting
Killian-
everyone in free movement, so you can move. You should be able to move Blade Beak now.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
The
Blade Beak
broken
will just
China besties.
stand in front of the archers. Can Vincent and Matilda reach with like their attacks and stuff from where they are, or should Blade Beak go somewhere?
I don't know yet. I can't see anybody, so I can't really plan anything. There's a big bunch of fire in my face.
Okay. Well, Blade Beak will stay there for this turn then. But Killian will ready her rifle for interaction with an object. That out.
I will also remind you all, though you can't tell exactly where these grenades have landed, there are grenades in your general vicinity. They're mixed in with the stone of the shrapnel and are basically, it's all been painted black to seem different. Your guys' passive perception is the only thing that picked up that there are some that are like spherical and perfect. However, where all of them are, you are uncertain.
Are they grenades or mines? Or we're not sure.
Grenades. They're like
essentially acting as
granados.
mine.
They're little like black hardened spheres with packed powder on the inside.
Cool. No worries. Thank you.
Is that your very subtle way of telling me that everyone should just move out of the way and upwards? So I should
As
Blade
you
Beak
guys
as well?
have realized that these things are here, so everyone should probably leave your immediate vicinity.
Okay.
Cool. Well then, I will move my full distance, and then Blade Beak will move his full distance. Is the fire difficult terrain?
Oh, actually, I'm sorry. I've just made these knights invisible to you, so let me actually just move them all the way out of the way.
Oh.
There you go. You should be good.
Gotcha. Alright, Blade Beak will move there. So I think that's as far as I can go.
Excellent.
Right.
At the end of Killian and Blade Beak's turn, Vincent, you're up.
I didn't mean to move. Okay. Assessing the situation. 15. This is. Did Killian dash? It's telling me it would take me 50 feet to get to where you are.
Is that because you're moving through fire stuff?
I guess so. But even if I wasn't, it's still 45 feet to stand next to you. Is there?
Oh, you have moved. You already moved at the beginning of your turn, so it's adjusting for all of it. Here, let me reset your movement. There you
Oh
go.
yeah, no. Right here is. Yeah, right here is 30 feet. Yeah, Vincent. Oh. Can I go here? It says I'm going to collide with a wall.
Yeah, you can run there. As you dash into the smoke, you find yourself in the midst of this just black pitch. You find it difficult to see
Oh.
outside.
Okay, interesting. So that means I'm obscured, right?
Completely obscured.
Cool. Vincent will take out his wand thingy, his wand of fear, and I am going to point this in the direction towards the dudes. Where I thought they were. Anyone in that radius needs to give me a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw. Can you queue up the Wand of Fear?
I don't know. I
You
don't-
hold it?
Here, I can do it manually. It's totally fine. Okay, so what is the DC?
15.
15? I will go ahead and hit these little buttons in front of me.
It's not a spell. It's just a thing that the wand does. That's why it's not giving me like the spell. 'Cause it doesn't. It's just called Cone of Fear, but it's an ability only on the wand.
Indeed. So, the knight that stands in front of you fails. The other knight succeeds. In the back, you see a handful of these soldiers fail. 2 of them, to be precise. However, as they all stand and stare onwards towards the fight ahead of them, there seems to be a general confidence among them. You can see that these 3 are frightened.
Okay. They are frightened of you for 1 minute. While they are frightened in this way, a creature must spend its turn moving as far away from you as possible, and it can't willingly move within 30 feet of me. It also can't take it. They do not have their reactions anymore. For its action, it can use only the dash action or try to escape from the effects that any effects that prevent it from moving. If it has nowhere it can move, it just must take the dodge action and stand still.
Perfect. There's actually one additional soldier, this one over here as well, is now frightened. But as you just release this yellowish cone out into the area, you can see just several of these soldiers shake and begin to move back.
And through the smoke and the haze, you can see Vincent starting to like sweat a little bit again, and steam starting to rise off of him, blending in with the smoke. I may have shaked up the ranks a little bit. Be careful. And as a bonus action, he's going to cast Healing Word on himself. 6 healing. That's the end
Excellent.
of my turn.
And as this just single word resonates out into the open air, these soldiers begin their turns. That is a dash right off the battlefield for these friendos. This knight here, shaken, immediately turns and begins to flee through the combat. This one can get there. This one cannot. You, instead, are going to run over here and hop down into the flame and begin to dash out, attempting their best to get away from you, Vincent. They actually land in this fire here and immediately begin to burn as the fear overtakes their rationale. This guy just lands within the pitch of his own flames, and you can see that the rest stare onward as one of their commanders begins to flee the fight. Making their way 30 feet, dashing to 60 to attempt to get as far away as possible. I'm going to go ahead and roll morale here.
That's great.
Morale doesn't even, I don't even know. Oh, morale for the rest of the troops. Yeah.
The vast majority of them seem unshaken, as the knight in the front takes a look back and says, "Yield not, friends! Today we end this threat!" and begin to move forward.
Ooh, promotion. New commander.
This is what I was waiting for, he thinks in the back of his mind. They begin their march forward. Save for hip. They reach this area. They are not walking in flames as far as they can determine. As they move forward, they reach back, grabbing onto the holy symbols that sit within a small amulet at their chest. They wreath back, and just a small ocean of blue flame appears before you. Before immediately a ballista, or a just cavalcade of flames rains down upon the area. Let me see who I can get.
They need to be able to
Yes.
see their target to hit them. Is it that
Not.
type of spell? it's
They
an
launch
AoE.
a massive mote of flame towards you all, and as it falls down upon you, I need everybody to roll. Looky, a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, what?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Cheating.
DM, I'm not very good at those.
No?
No.
Oh, okay.
Are you sure it's wisdom?
I'm fairly certain.
Ooh, these rolls.
Looks like.
Yeah, my roll was shit.
What do
Got
you
a
mean? You did a
17.
17.
You got 17.
Oh, I was looking at Vincent. Sorry.
Low-key burn.
Sorry, Vincent.
The wisdom in this tin can.
Oh, did Gambit die?
Let me go ahead and roll for
On
this.
the last barrage of probably
Yeah, I think
you
that
had one
was-
hell.
Yes,
Out.
indeed.
In a
He like-
ethereal mist.
Oh, I wanted him to crunch like dried pasta.
Nah.
Like,
You got an actual noodle.
Oh, could he like do it? He could explode like his.
No, this is gonna hurt you.
But it's like not a. It's not a damaging explosion.
Not a
It's just
force
flavor.
And then it's just it's like he just kind of turns into an ingredient. He just becomes a bowl of spaghetti that falls to the ground
Yeah.
and shatters. That's the chaos
Cannon.
magic at work.
Cannon.
Paka and Selene both succeed this. As the flames rain down upon you all take. Once again, that is 13 points of cold damage. as the flames
Cold
rain
damage.
down, and it's not so much a matter of dodging it, it's a matter of withstanding. As the flames begin to pour over you, those of you who have failed are also engulfed in blue flame. There's Killian,
But we all
Vincent,
take
Jojo.
Yeah,
we all take 13.
If you failed, it's
13
if you
cold.
succeed. I'm assuming it's half.
Is it
I've-
half or not at all?
If you succeed, you receive no damage from this.
Ah.
Okay, so I passed the save.
You pass the save with a 17, so you take no damage.
Okay,
Vincent,
cool. Sorry,
Killian,
I
and
was-
Jojo. There you are, Killian.
Are you applying a blue flame? Yeah.
Burning azure flame. The soldiers continue to stride forward, and now it is Selene's turn. Selene looks onwards towards the fight and begins to rearrange herself, dashing as far as she can over to the side near Paka, who looks over at her and is just like, "You can hide with me. It's safe over here." Fire, but I'm fine. Selene's like, "Me too, little guy." Reaches back, ting, slams on her bracers, on the small ringlets on her wrists, and reaches her hand out as a
Moonbeam?
swath of moonlight appears. Let me go ahead and check the range on this.
I think it's 120. The whole
Yeah.
map lights up red when you use it.
And that is a... to 5-foot cylinder. 5-foot radius or 5-foot diameter? Well, they're always at... we can choose for these, by the way, everybody, to place your spells however you want on your own space. Grid intersections, so the corners of your grid or the center is your choice. Anything else will give you less squares than you otherwise could get. So make sure that you snap them to the center or the corners. And as she casts Moonbeam, a 5-foot cylinder of moonlight appears.
Matilda, how much damage did you take? You took the full 13.
I took none.
She succeeded. It
Nice.
was, as far as you could tell, Jojo and I think that's it. Like, you couldn't really tell what happened to Vincent.
Yeah.
Because he's hiding in smoke.
Oh, I was just checking because of the warding bond.
At the end of Selene's turn, the knight begins theirs. You can see the other knight continues fleeing out of the area. Let me also go ahead and roll a save.
There was like a bunch of other smaller knights. Did they not flee?
They did. They ran the other way. It's just that they were also running through their own ranks, so they didn't get very far. And now I need to roll a wisdom save for them. They both failed and maintain their flight. The other knight is well and truly out of this battle at this point, as they have just run 120 feet off the map entirely. The knight that stood previously, standing as a commander, begins to stride forward. Here you are, hidden by your own soldiers. As they reach the front, they rear back, and you can see they take this longsword, familiar longsword, offhand, bring it up to the top of their face, and hold it for a brief moment before wreathing it in flame. They rear back, and then, in a move that you've actually become familiar with, just unleash a blade of moonlight that flies forward. Killian, I believe you are the only one who's going to be hit by this. Let me check. They can also have blade beak, actually. So as they just unleash this beam, it flies in towards you. I need you to make a dex save and Blade Beak to make a dex save as well.
Ooh, nice.
So I got a crit.
Success.
You've
I
got like
realized-
3 crits.
And Bleebeak should have advantage because I didn't command them to do an action, so they should just be dodging.
Perfect. It should. I gave them the dodge condition, so they should actually have that automatically. 18. Both of you succeed, managing to duck under the nature of it, but as this beam passes over you, you can feel the pressure and just the heat generated from the pure moonlight that this passes over you. And it just bears down upon your back. You take a grand total of 4 points of radiant damage, the both of you. Astrid begins her turn. She looks onwards towards the fight. See, previously she was here. Her form appears. And as it does so, she runs. making her way off the battlefield, kind of hopping down and just stumbling through the stone and beginning to run best she can off to the side. You can see that the sparse footwear that she wears now, one side just breaks, and she kicks it over into this just small bit of nearly just melting ground next to her from the pure heat of this night that had flown overhead, unleashing this golden flame. She turns and kicks her footwear off and begins to run at full speed in the distance. She makes it about there. Jojo, you're up.
Jojo will see her appear and run and look and make eye contact towards Matilda. Like, I guess we're going this way. And she's going to follow after Astrid. These areas are, like, damaging, right?
They are hot
Fire.
enough that they would hurt you if you went over them.
Okay. That's 35. I'm once I get here, I'm gonna turn towards this knight, and I'm going to look at them, and the circlet of blasting that sort of looks like a helm from the like Wonder Woman TV, like the movie, just like at the center of her forehead, a bead of like flame is gonna appear and shoot out towards them, and she's gonna do a scorching ray. Which spell is
I believe you
not
get
listed here.
3 rays.
Yeah, you get 3 scorching rays. You throw basically 3.
Ooh, so 3 little dots, like, which circle before like spiraling out towards them. That's cool. I get a +5 to this. So I'm just gonna. I don't see it in my thing.
I just threw it on your character sheet.
Oh. Okay, there we go.
Huzzah!
23 to hit.
23 hits. Go ahead and
So-
roll 2 more.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah, each beam is independent. It's like Eldritch Blast.
Oh, hang on. I'll actually do it from the spell now.
You can choose different targets for each one as well.
I shoot off my skeety reedy.
I'll do them all. We'll do them all against that person. That one's a 12 to hit,
A 12 does not hit.
and one more. Oh, that one doesn't hit either. So just one. Just one hits.
3 rays fly in towards them. You see them bring the shield down and block the bottom 2, raking them aside, and then looking at you just like, no one could possibly produce 3 rays, as the last one slams right in the throat, and they just begin to back up slightly.
Yeah, that's 9 fire damage against them.
9 fire. It begins to burst around their neck.
And I get 5 more feet of movement still. So I'll just go here. And I will take I'll chug some shitty ale as my bonus action.
All right.
That's my
44 plus 4 for a minimum 10 healing. At the end of your turn, Matilda, you are up.
Now, have we heard any sounds while we were on the battlefield that, like, sounded like, you know how when there's on a battlefield, sometimes they each have, like, a different horn sound they make to let them know that other people are coming? Have we heard an Ludemnian one?
Ooh, you have not, in regards to anything like this. The battlefield itself, hectic. There are screams, especially of terror from the other side. However, something like that, designed to be heard above the clutter. You would have heard it if there was one.
Can I minor illusion a replica of the Thousandfold Tone?
Have you
Ooh.
heard it before?
I don't think, like, narratively speaking, this is 3,600 individual notes. No, 1,000 individual notes that play every 3.6 seconds. So, like, you probably have not sat back and listened to the entire thing, especially with how much time you have spent within the dungeon itself. I don't think that's something that you would be capable of accomplishing. Minor illusion is also like, you could do it because it'd be like, bump, beep, boo. It'd require multiple castings, 1,000 of them.
You can,
Sorry, that's
with
just really
minor
funny.
illusion, it says you can change the sound throughout the minute that you cast it. So like
Yeah.
you could play like a symphony or an orchestra for a minute. That's fine. I'm just
Oh,
wondering,
I'm thinking of the wrong spell.
because the Thousandfold Tone is like in the creature's mind. Has Matilda ever listened? Because I thought like Vincent's the only one that's actually heard it, or do they have like recordings of it in the city?
Not so you assume that they would, just not something that you guys have possibly had
But also,
access to.
too, like, you touch objects and you hear it sometimes, too, right?
No, you hear like, at least you guys haven't. whether or not that can happen. You've mostly heard like echoes of memories kind of thing. Before we jump... Oh, no, actually, continue.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was going to say, Jojo, you had your hand raised. Was that pertinent, or can that wait?
You can wait.
Okay, Matilda, you were up.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm just going to take a shot in the dark because we're running and I want to distract them away from the direction that we're going to be running. So I am going to, as an action, let's see. And then how far?
Eldritch Blast, I believe, is 120.
Okay, I'm gonna make a minor illusion of a sound that sounds like a scary creature that we've heard before on the 4th floor. Right here-ish. And then I'm gonna start running in the direction that we saw Astrid go.
Okay, here's what I'll say.
Do that.
These are spellcasters on the other side of the fight. If you are to cast this spell with no way of concealing it, they will likely recognize that the spell has been cast. Although there's a lot of them this is just like chaos will likely ensue one way or the other. But if you want to attempt to disguise this spell or your casting of it, you can roll deception.
Yeah, I'll do deception.
Gotcha.
Can I guide myself, or is this too fast?
That would be casting another spell.
Oh, it's an action, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so used to using guidance in like a non-combat related scenario. So I'm just like, oh yeah.
You fucking hide your ninja hand signs on the other side of the smoke, and as you run out, you muffle your breath underneath, casting this what does the sound like?
The really scary sounds we were hearing outside the farmhouse that were just like, you know, like we were inside that house and it just sounded like, wasn't there like a crazy, like, it just sounded really like scary. I just wanted to make it sound like something that was like really scary that we heard in the on the 4th floor, and I'm trying to remember all the scary shit that we dealt with. There was the
indistinct and terrifying like burbles of the infinite hells itself begins to just erupt from this space. Let me go ahead and mark it. It was here, I believe. And as the sound just like begins to come from this spot, people, the vast majority of the people here all begin to look down towards this location as you just slink behind the darkness and begin to move out of position.
Okay.
And as
helped me. I was behind them when I cast my spell.
and as you continue running, that is the end of your turn. Okay. At the beginning of the second round, the granados on the ground explode.
Oh no.
From this spot, 20-foot radius.
Oh no! Papa!
No!
Papa, no!
Paka's there. As the shrapnel begins to just tear out throughout the area, everybody involved here needs to roll for me a dexterity saving throw.
Does this provide any cover, or is this more like a hole that it is a lifted area?
You can have advantage on the other side. This is a tree. You can see kind of the sparse little bits of branch that remain.
Can I be a rude ass hoe and use Buckbeak as cover, or as like a metal shield?
Buckbeak is Bladebeak's cousin.
Oh, sorry, Bladebeak. Can I use Bladebeak? He's like, protect
No,
me, metal creation.
The origin space is right here. So you guys are right next to like ground zero.
It.
Ooh, the
wow.
rolls. Vincent Bladebeak, Paka. I need to roll for Paka.
This Paka's prone. Is he like?
Paka's prone. Please, Paka's prone.
I'm used to explosions.
He's a boy.
This is a ranged attack roll, right?
If this triggers at the beginning of combat, so does Paka. Is he have enough time to move away? Speed.
He has initiative 20. He is not at the beginning of combat.
But that's what you do when there's grenades. You stuff and cover, right?
You most certainly do. As the grenades boom, erupt out throughout the area and shrapnel begins to tear. Vincent, You avoid the brunt of it. You take 6 points of piercing damage. Matilda, you avoid the brunt of it. 6 points. Bladebeak, avoid the brunt of it. 6 points of piercing damage. And Paka takes no damage.
Yes.
Selenade just barely outside of the radius, and Killian, you can see the shrapnel kind of past you and just slam into the ground as the round continues. Paka's turn. He's just like, fire, sharp things, fire, sharp things, fire, and begins to run. He reaches up to Astrid and reaches a hand out. She's like, I'll help you, and goes up and grabs her hand, and her hand is grabbed. And she looks down for a brief moment and then just pays no mind and continues. Paka is going to dash to get the remainder a little bit, and he actually begins to help Astrid further away from you guys. At the end of Paka's turn, Killian. Actually, Paka as a bonus action is also going to chug a potion. So he recovers that. Killian, you're up.
Kind of turn around and see that everyone's just leaving, except do I see that Vincent is over here, or is he in,
He's
like,
completely
smoke?
shrouded.
He's in smoke, just black smoke.
So I'm like,
Okay.
go around the hedge, and then you don't know where he is.
Gotcha. Okay. I guess we're not fighting.
Probably got to keep up with Astrid.
All right. She will still take her 2 pot shots as an action.
Running
One
gun.
to this guy.
Twice 6 hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
12 damage to him.
Helmet explodes. Head gone. Body hits the ground.
Swap to the next one. Do it again.
$18 hits. Which one did you target this time?
This one. I mean,
Taking aim.
specifically- Oops, sorry. Go.
I was gonna say, taking aim past the commander, you just dead.
No damage required.
No damage required.
Nope.
Minion rule.
Yeah.
Why we need more AOE.
Yeah, I know, right? Give a little snarl to the Enthian knight, and then, you know, run my butt all the way over here. Bonus action, I'll command Bladebeak to repair. So starts, the head shrinks in and starts hitting the outside of its metallic chassis and pushing it out. 2d8 plus 3.
It'd be a minimum of 8 or 9. Recovers 10 hit points.
Yeah.
I like the visual of this. Just turns into bird ball and just like ting ting ping ting.
Like a washing machine. And then it is, it's going to move its full movement, which is, I closed my Bladebeak, silly me, 40 feet.
The flame areas there, traversing through them, will cause damage.
Okay, so better to go this way.
Indeed.
Okay. Yeah. Move to here. Always leaves Matilda out in the open, but these guys seem to just be doing AoE attacks anyway.
You turn and you begin to move. As Bladebeak, also still like the picture, just kind of brings itself down into the ball, and as the washing machine thing continues, it just kind of like moves forward, scraping along the ground. But it can be fucking epic with legs striding and metal plates slamming against the ground. Your choice.
It's a bit of both. It's a really clumsy. It would be epic if it didn't look so derpy and clumsy.
Amazing. Vincent, you are up. Shrouded in the darkness, you look onwards towards the falling soldiers before you.
When Vincent let off his fear effect, did it seem like they noticed where it was coming from? Like, are people heading towards him, or are they more paying attention to like the party fleeing and to the left?
You can't actually, you are shrouded in smoke, you can't see out of it, so you have no idea. You also do hear a sound
Yeah.
coming from in front of you.
Yeah. Vincent, I'm gonna cast Fly on myself.
That's logical.
So he's going to start. He'll kind of whip out his hands, and from the shadows and everything over there, you can hear like a quite beautiful but almost like underlying like eerie tone string out from there, as he plays on his ebony and ivory, and he's gonna start taking flight. I'm gonna move 5 feet up. I can't make myself move vertically, Adrian.
5 feet.
10
Still
feet,
in the-
actually.
10 feet. Yeah, you're still in the smoke. 10 feet up, you're still in the smoke.
Yeah, that's fine. He'll fly over here, and it says I can't move because I'll collide with the wall.
Flying over
Is the
there.
tree higher than
You make your way all the way over, and you stand above the party now. As you breach the smoke, it erupts around you.
Cool. Looking out and kind of assessing what's going on, and where everything is. So, Jojo, Killian,
Yep.
Matilda, are we fleeing? Like, what's the plan?
Astrid showed up again, and she's running this way. So
This way.
He
Fleeing.
turns around and he sees Astrid over here. Okay. He's gonna reach into his bag and on his side and just pull out a potion and chug it. I will heal. His last greater healing potion. 13 hit points.
And you continue your flight. Is that the end of your turn?
It is. That was action bonus action. Yep.
Selenay, at the beginning of the round. The knights have not had a chance to go yet, so they still remain under the sparking moonlight. It's just and is becoming down. Oh, I killed the one that had previously had its turn. So that was my mistake. Let me bring a new one over here for that. I believe they went just after Laidbeak. Do you guys remember? This was my mistake.
I don't remember.
They went just before Selenay, so after Vincent, because I remember there was one turn in between them and their commander. So I'm going to give them a 17. So Vincent, after your turn and before
I thought they
Selenay's.
reacted on the same turn as the commander did. They were always moving against unit.
No, because the commander was stuck in their ranks before as they were moving. However, at the beginning of their turn, these two need to... Actually, they take half damage on the moonbeam one way or the other. You look onward as the moonbeam tears down, and the moonlight itself just eviscerates. They're gone. The rest look onwards towards this, and they just gunfire coming in and everything happening. One of their commanders ran away. The rest of their people are running away, and the knight who stands before them raises his sword in the air and draws a full moon as it ignites in front of them. He says, "Be not shaken!" As he holds his position, and the rest of the knights shore up. They begin to move. Seeing you guys move off towards the side, these ones make an immediate march to here. I can currently see you there. These ones begin to reposition. These ones begin to give chase. Actually, do not need to dash. They begin to move forward. You can see that the knight at the center kind of just guiding the troops around, and then these two will dash. Running and jumping over this position. As they all move into their current spaces, they take aim. Not as cohesive as the large group that they were before. You see them begin to prepare just these flaming motes. And as they turn, they grab onto their holy symbols, and just flames begin to dash and dance around you. Matilda, these will no longer be a dexterity saving throw due to the nature of the current positioning of these individuals. Matilda, you take 3 points of cold damage as these flames smash into you. You also need to roll a wisdom saving throw for me. Have 2-1. These knights over here begin to launch flames inward. They don't seem to be targeting Astrid as she turns to run. And as they aim, barely any of them can see through this darkness.
Not good. Bad.
Virtually none of these knights back here make a move. The knights who were previously frightened have now all fled combat, save for you, who is going to use the rest of your movement to dash away. You all moved yet? You got here. As they move to flank and begin to overtake you all, attempting to find positions in this battlefield. You see Astrid looks onwards towards the knights who are moving into position and kind of just hesitates for a moment, and then Paka looks up towards her and taps her on the hand. Other than the attack on Matilda at current, none of these knights can act, which you guys assume means bad things when they can. Beginning of Desaulniers' turn, she's going to take note and move this moonbeam through the knight commander and onto these 4 knights. These 4
Adrian?
knights are eviscerated. Yes.
You said I needed to roll a wisdom save, and I did. I did bad.
A 9, you are ignited in blue flame.
Oh, yikes. Okay.
As the moonbeam tears over them, the knight commander fails his save and takes a fair bit of damage. Seeing kind of them smoking now from the both the flame to the throat and the radiant light bearing down upon them, that is the end of Selne's turn. The knight commander looks onwards towards everything that's happening, and with an eye on Killian, runs forward. You see that as you ran past and kind of gave them that snarl, they've seemed to give a little bit of a focus. But running up to you, takes the blade in hand and boom, 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 takes 1 attack at everyone currently surrounding.
Cool.
Taking aim with their blade, they loose it on you. This. First attack comes in. Jojo, you just deflect it. The second attack comes through to Bladebeak. Bladebeak takes nothing, just bounces off the chassis. Third attack comes in, and with a natural 20, Killian, you take 23 points of damage. Sure.
Bladebeak reaction, deflect.
Bladebeak did not use any reaction with recover or anything. Perfect. So you deflect that as disadvantage, yes?
That's correct.
With a disadvantage, the natural 20 is brought down to a regular hit. So actually, let me just go ahead and reroll that damage. That is 3 points of slashing and 10 points of radiant damage as this blue flame blade comes bearing down upon you. Oh, you were also enraptured in blue flame at current, so you take another 4. So that's 3 plus 10 plus 4.
Yep.
Alrighty. And the attacks, these vicious knightly attacks come down upon you. Astrid continues running. Now holding on to Paka and just looking on towards the fight, she begins to move off to the side. You can see that she's hesitantly trying to go to the north and manages to get here. You can dash. Manage to get here. As the knights continue to encircle, she looks onwards towards this spot and begins to run. Jojo, you are up.
Jojo is going to slap her hands together and run them along each other as crackling energy goes along her fingers, and she's gonna grab onto this knight's armor. So I'll have advantage on this shocking grasp. And that's they have a reaction.
This is a melee attack, yes?
It's a melee spell attack.
He used parry. So as he leans back, he takes his blade and he reaches the side of your hand and just forces it off to the edge, but it was a feint. You bring the other hand around, grab onto the armor, and just which makes this an automatic critical hit.
Oh, nice. Critical hit. Boom. That's 23 lightning damage.
Jeez.
Holy moly. And also they do not have any reactions now, so Jojo's gonna be like, come on, let's get out of here. And is going to keep going this way. I think that's my turn.
Yeah, as the knight attempts to just get rid of your attack, he reveals his own weak spot, and taking advantage of that, you just... the entire body is nothing but shimmering and shaking right now. Matilda, you are up.
Okay.
Oh, I can barely hear you.
Oh, no, I'm muttering to myself.
Oh.
So it's fine.
Just some dissonant whispers.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna, Does Desaulniers look okay?
She looks okay. Yeah.
Did she move on her turn? Because I don't know why she would have stayed there.
She stayed behind.
I'm going to cast invisibility on myself. Don't know where I am. I know you guys can't see me either, but...
Here we go.
That...
Ooh. Yeah. Yes, I'm invisible.
Okay. And then I'm gonna move. Actually, before I cast invisibility on myself, can I use my feature quickly? Like 2 things and then cast invisibility?
Which
You
is
mean
this?
Heal yourself?
Yeah, healing light.
You can use that even if you're
Mhm.
invisible. It's not considered a spell.
Oh, it's not? Oh, okay.
But as for the feature, yes. But do you need to be able to see the target? That is the question. Because even if you are invisible, you are untargetable by spells that require you to see the target. So healing light. But the answer to your thing is yes, absolutely. All on your turn, your attacks
Yeah, I
and
have
everything
to see.
can happen
I get
whenever.
to see the creature, so I would have done that before I
Perfect.
went invisible.
Healing light cannot goes through you. 'Cause you
Yes.
have your light glow.
You are invisible. You are bending light. So as the light bounds upon you, it's just like...
Rude.
So you recover 9 hit points.
Cool. And then I'm going to... And I can't go through this stuff, right? It's bad?
Correct. You can move through it. It will just hurt. It will be pains.
Can I go past Killian?
That would be difficult. That'd be 35 feet of movement. It would be needed.
So you can basically cycle up to there.
Okay. What I will do, though, is I'll, like, lightly, like, gently tug on Killian's ear. Or, like, something just so that she knows that I'm there.
Is very on fire, right?
Oh! We're both on fire!
You guys are all currently on fire.
Oh, shit! So does that mean I can't be invisible if I'm on fire?
Here's the thing.
What?
Anything you are wearing or carrying, the spell, the blue flame spell, does not actually make you visible or allow you to track invisible creatures. So I will say it goes invisible with you.
Okay.
It's not
That's
high enough
You're on
level to be that
invisible
useful.
fire.
Yeah,
That's
you're just like,
so
ow,
funny.
maybe, ow, God, I hate this kind of... But okay, is that the end of your turn?
Yes.
Kind of giving Killian the rundown of where you currently are. The next round begins. You can hear in the distance as the eagle turns and begins to swoop back towards the battlefield.
Oh, that was my hand raise a while back. I was like, what's the deal with the eagle? They just out. So that's good to know.
They're like, you get me for 1 attack. That's it. After the 1, I'm going to rest. This eagle needs feed.
Does it seem like the eagle's heading towards our position? Like it's not necessarily unaware of what's going on down here.
Oh, it's here to carpet bomb. You're certain of that. It's here to lay flame across this battlefield. Paka continues to run astride Astrid, and with his just absolutely bonkers movement speed, manages to get all the way around the corner and help her away from this small contingent of knights. Killian, you're up.
Paka's secretly her lover and savior. He's the hero of the story.
It's his napkin or whatever.
He'll be sitting there. You guys have been traveling for 5 years, and he'll just pull out a golden napkin and just be like,
We go there, and it's just like Astrid is actually blue.
Have you ever really looked at her? She's kind of a smurf.
No, she has red hair.
Killian, you were up.
So Killian is going to climb up onto Bladebeak. Use her action to cast Cure Wounds on herself. So boom, boom. Cast it.
Also, who here is actually bloodied, just so I can see?
Very bloodied.
Okay.
That was not great.
Is JoJo bloodied?
Yep, Jojo's
how does our healing work again? If it's-
Minimum
healing.
half. Yeah.
Okay, so half of 11 would be 5.
Would be 7 because
Half of 11 would be 5. Rounded down by 1.
Yeah.
I always do it differently.
It's half of the total though. So for example, a greater potion of healing is 44 plus 4, maximum 20, minimum 10. So it would, after modifiers, you half it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Perfect.
So yeah, I heal up, and then I command Bladebeak to dash. Now that I'm on top, and we go. So we can get. Hold on, I'm trying to-
Here, I can reset your guys' movement for you.
Oh, thank you.
And then let me reset Lightbeak. You're good.
So 15. 40 would put us here, but we're dashing. I know that Matilda was next to me, so I don't want to go more than 60 feet away. So we'll dash to here. I think that's... Nope, that's way too far. Oh wait, no.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah. Okay.
Just with this metallic stride, you make your way through the battlefield.
Right. That is Killian's turn.
Vincent, you were up.
Kind of assessing the situation and seeing how things are. Sawing Matilda go invisible and everyone kind of fleeing towards where Astrid is. He'll turn around. Selenadia, are you coming?
She's like forcing this moonbeam off to the side. She's like, I'll cover the flank.
The flank seems to be okay. Make sure you catch up, okay?
She looks trying to see around the smoke, and she's just like, all right, I will.
Vincent will fly over to here, and he is going to take out his wand again.
Yeah, 60-foot cone.
Love that code.
Love that
Okay,
cone.
Everyone in this area needs. Oh, hold on.
You can also, due to grid intersections, if you put it here, you'll actually get more people.
Okay, everyone in that radius needs to roll a wisdom saving throw.
Most excellent.
As Vincent flies over and kind of just like stands there and cracks his knuckles and starts playing like sinister music in front of them, trying to shake their morale.
I sort of
7
pictured-
of these succeed.
I sort of pictured you playing Master of Puppets, but that's just because I love that scene in Stranger Things.
I don't think I know that
No
song.
spoilerinos.
That's a barely.
Don't you say that wasn't a spoiler, Reno?
This is a trailer.
Was it? I don't watch trailers.
Yeah.
Don't watch trailers, they're full of spoilerinos.
This is this is your fault, not mine. I'm not as plugged in as you are.
Because I saw someone do a backflip, and I was like, spoilers!
Vincent, you see just about over half of these individuals begin to just almost drop their weapons. They would drop the shields that they were holding if they were holding shields, but as they turn, they begin to flee.
If you value your lives, you will get out of here. And then he will, as he continues playing his music, he'll wait for the rest of his companions. Bonus action, gonna heal myself.
My Knight Commander can't use his reactions. Yeah,
I can't delete my AoE. Do you want to do it for me, Adrian? It won't allow me to.
I got you.
Cool. Use spell. Word. 6 heals.
You recover 6 heat points. And as the single word that you utter out reverberates through the world like your music, you find your wounds begin to suture. The soldiers begin their turns. Not exactly of their own will. They begin to flee aggressively. The soldier makes it off the battlefield and continues. Several of them turn and begin to abandon their posts, and you can hear the teeth gritting of the knight commander, Matilda, as just aggression fueling this just newfound rage. Knights
He doesn't
scattering
know
and
you're
fleeing,
there,
losing
though.
formation. Nope.
Yeah, I'm just like.
Why are you a fax machine all of a sudden? I'm just like, as the knights begin to flee, the rest look onwards towards their companions, and give me that morale check, friends. Emboldened by their commander's previous words, these two move up and prepare. Just barely not able to make it to Astrid. This one runs over. These knights move a decent distance away and begin lobbing flame towards you, Vincent. Some of the ones who had previously seen all of this happening. This one runs over to their commander and, like, just skirting around the edge of the moonbeam, running away from it for dear life, reaches the commander, begins to shake, places a hand on the armor, and it's just like, kicks them, trying to just get them out of this stupor. That is their action. These knights are going to head over here. Just trying to get a view of what's happening. As the knights soldiers continue to move themselves into position, this one takes an attack against Paka, and the other looses a flaming bolt.
No!
No!
This is every time you try and hurt Paka, it's just me being like, no, my boy!
Every encounter is all of us at like 6 HP, and Paka's full health, and someone attacks Paka, and we're like, no!
So one of those was a natural one. I rolled fate dice, not good. So here's what happens. The first blade comes sweeping in underneath. Paka jumps up without thinking, looks over and sees the blade heading towards Astrid's leg, and then stomps his leg down to stop it, but he's too late. The blade comes through and nicks the side of Astrid's leg, pulling back and leaving a wound across. As she lurches back, and the other knight looks towards him and just fucking decks him in the back of the head. You see this entire situation, as he's preparing this flame, the anger of this just is too much and slams into the back of him. Like, taking that flame, he just rakes it across the back of this helmet and continues with the bolt towards Paka, and it impacts him. He does not get a lit in flame, but the flame dances across his body, and he is once again bloodied.
Oh, Paka.
That is that fun little scene. This one, these individuals turn their attention towards you, Vincent, and they loose their flaming bolts.
Does this seem like a 2-hit spell?
It is.
Shield.
7 of these bolts come in. What is your AC with shield?
19.
19. 2 of the 6 that look like they would have hit managed to impact, and you take a grand total of 4 points of cold damage. You are a light in blue flame currently, so you also take another 4 cold damage.
Oh, another one on top of it. Okay.
You see the
Are
flame
these-
around you get emboldened.
So I'm gonna need to know this. Is each individual source of damage separate, or does this all just happen at once because they're minions?
The minion attack is considered one source of damage.
Okay, then I will roll 1 con saving throw. Let me see.
That fails.
Hold on. I need to see what the total is. I can add something to it. I'm waiting for the foundry to catch up and tell me what the total was.
You have rolled a 4.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, there's nothing I can do with this. And I can't use my mind sharpener because I don't have a reaction left.
You descend 10 feet and you take 1d6 fall damage. You take 6. Oh, why is that +2? Oh, that's my bad. You take 4 points of fall damage. As you fall and you manage to hit the ground, to chill up your spine, but you stand there, the blue flame still dancing around you. And the knights look on towards their now grounded opponents with renewed zeal. That's everyone, y'all. Selene is going to say, not far enough, and pull the moonbeam over this knight who is just eviscerated.
Do you want to put bloodied on me?
Absolutely. This can actually go here instead. It's now a blood. The Anthean, so can't take reactions. It's nothing about saves. This is a con save. I believe it's a con save. Let me double check.
Why can't he take actions?
Well, he can't take
he can't take
reactions
actions
because
because
he's
he's
zapped. But con save, either way, that doesn't kind of inhibit his ability to dex save. But as the moonbeam passes over him, he does manage to succeed his Constitution saving throw. He takes half of this damage.
Wouldn't the shocking grasp fade off at the beginning of his turn?
It's
It's
not
not
the
his
beginning of
turn
his turn yet.
Last turn, yeah.
Ah.
He takes half of that, 5 points of damage. As he's nearly dead. Matilda, you are looking at him as the moonbeam tears its way through and over top. The other guy gets just eviscerated, vaporized, and this guy's standing, but you can see he's just falling to pieces. And then Selene begins to
All
run.
Matilda can think is, God, why do they always take so long to die?
So she cannot run. So what she's going to do, she actually manages to bump into you, Matilda. She's running. Unaware of your position, she runs through the safe location and kind of just slams into you and rotates and just continues moving as she looks back minorly confused. Without a dash, she actually ends right next to you. And then now it is the knight's turn as his shocking grasp ends. Morale. He's gone. He begins his turn. Oh no! Con save. He begins his turn in the moonbeam. Looks down towards Selene, who is running and like enforcing the spell. He looks and like pushes forward with his spear in order, so she kind of like lurches back slightly, taking the opportunity to attempt to flee. He makes it to here before he realizes that he doesn't have legs anymore. They are gone. He hits the ground and then reaches forward with his spear and just begins to pull himself forward before the rest of his body also flitters away.
Oh man.
Now he is gone.
It's a good thing the
Morale
rest of the
check.
body flittered away, because we almost made Darth Vader.
Oh no.
You don't want that.
Cause of death, lack of morale.
Astrid continues to run. She sees the soldiers in front of her and braves the flames. Paka is going to let go here as she turns and begins to run through the fire. And then that will be 20 feet left. Jojo, you are up. Paka says, "Watch out, make sure you don't burn your ankles."
Does she look like she's heading like farther like off the map, or she's trying to get over here?
She's running up to try and rejoin with the road up here.
Okay, great. Jojo is going to run her 40 feet up. Run here. She'll just be here, right in front of Vincent, and she's gonna pull out the wand of magic missile, and she's going to attack this guy, and she's gonna attack, I think, these two back here as well. Yeah. So she's gonna do 4 charges of the magic missile wand.
So I think you need to roll for the amount of charges you gain. Is there a minimum? It's 1d6 plus 1. So go ahead and roll 2d6.
I've been rolling them. I rolled a d6 on the first night, so I got 6 charges back, and then minimum 1 for the second night. So
Beautiful.
It's
Minimum
all
2, I
fully
think,
charged
actually.
again. Oh yeah. Oh great. Well then it's definitely fully charged. So yes, 4 charges. Cast spell. Where is it?
No need. You bring up the wand. 4 silvery bolts fly in and just boom, 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 boom. They're gone.
Nice. Thank you.
4 knights hit the ground.
You okay, Baka?
I'm okay. That was really cool. I can't see you. Oh, I can't see you. There you are. Hello.
Hey. I do have rage, but nah. Well, there's a lot of guys right in front of me, huh?
There is, dear. But I got them covered.
Okay. That's my turn.
At the end of your third turn, the blue flame around you erupts.
Oh,
You
no.
take 16 points of cold damage. And you are no longer
16?
on fire. 16 points of cold damage.
Okay, cool.
Matilda, you're up.
Can I use my action to put myself not on fire?
After having seen the Azure
Yeah.
Nova that just
Yeah.
transpired
I was like,
around your orc
Yeah,
friend.
I shouldn't fire.
You may. You bring
Okay.
your hand down. Go ahead. You may roll another wisdom saving throw.
Oh. Come on, Matilli. You're wise. I am not wise.
You desperately
Again.
attempt to put the flame out, but it maintains.
Fuck's sakes. Hilda, your brain is not a steel trap. Sucks. Okay, fine, whatever. Waste my action. Stupid.
Stupid game sucks.
No, I'm mad at Matilda.
Why do we even have actions?
10, 15, 20, 5, 30. And then I'm gonna use 2 things of
I was gonna say, are you gonna heal yourself or someone else?
yeah. I'm healing someone
Perfect.
else.
Said yes to a 2. I was confused there for a
Yeah,
second.
I know. I realized I was like, oh wait, that was not clear at all. I'm gonna heal
I was like, can I decipher the yeah?
Can I roll insight on
1.
Tamara?
Killian, that's for you. You get 4. Oh, not blade beak. And then I'm gonna do another one. Okay.
Are you still bloodied, Killian?
But I'm
Is the 3 for me as well?
yes.
It was 4 for Killian, 3 for Matilda.
You can't
No.
do 2 people at once.
No, it's just 1. Yeah, so it's
Oh.
both are for Killian, so 4
Oh, okay.
plus 3.
And you
7.
can't target herself because she can't see herself.
All true things.
All right. I am still bloody.
Yeah. But I'm
Right.
going through my list of people that I saw that got bloody. Not because too far away, but I also noticed that Vincent's hot, so I'm keeping an eye on all that.
Vincent seems fine, but you can tell physically he looks pretty messed up.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like Matilda's like paying attention to her party members, so he's invisible but watching.
Always watching. As you sit back and you usher these healing lights. Not a spell, so I don't believe these particularly have components. However, every action has a perceivable circumstance. The knights on the other side, no idea. You can tell that they're not paying any attention. You are still completely obscured.
And it feels like a feather running up your skin. It's oddly sensual, but yeah.
I was just like, especially when someone's invisible and it's just happening.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, I feel better. Beginning of the round. At the end of your turn, the Azure Nova erupts, and you take, once again, 16 points of cold damage.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That from you. You are no longer burning. Paka's turn.
Oh,
Paka,
I'm not on fire anymore?
you're not on fire anymore. The
Con
flame
saving
dissipates.
throw.
Constitution saving throw. Halved. This is, you need 10.
But oh no, it's gone. Shit! My rolls are such crap. Anyway, I lose my invisibility.
You once again become visible as you drop the concentration on you from this. First off, it's nerve-wracking to kind of like know that's coming because you just saw it happen to JoJo and you're just like, oh my god, ticking time bomb. You spend your turn healing an ally, which is admirable. And as the flames erupt around you, you become visible once more, dropping the cipher in your mind. Paka runs around, and then as his bonus action, he's not prone anymore first thing, but he looks on towards the fight, and he actually is going to take a little needle out of his bag, and he's going to throw the needle towards this individual over here, and you see it, as he's running forward towards you, JoJo and Vincent, it just kind of Knight falls over, hits the ground,
Ooh.
deceased. And then Paka's just
whoa.
ducks back down.
Good job, Paka.
I have a question for the healing potion Paka used. Was this the one that I put in the backpack?
He only has the ones that you've given him previously.
Yeah, okay, so then there's just one in the backpack. That's fine. I just wanted to make sure I'm tracking it.
And then beyond that, at the end of Paka's turn, he's circled around to keep an eye on Astrid, and Killian, you're up.
Vincent turns around to you and says, "Don't worry about these fool.
Okay.
Try to catch up to Astrid."
All right. She'll. She's gonna cast heroism on herself.
Nice.
So remove a little bit of her anxiety, but also give herself some temp HP. 3 to be exact. And she taps on Bladebeak to get it dashing. And we run past. You can't move through allies, right?
You can. It's just difficult to read.
Okay.
Just can't end your turn there.
When you point where Astrid has gone, is it like over here? Because
She went from here to here and then kind of threaded the needle over here and then kept running.
Oh, okay.
So she's heading north.
Paka's also kind of relaying to you guys the information of where she is.
She's heading up basically here, Killian, if you can see where my marker is.
Okay. Well, I'm able to move right next to Paka. 80 feet worth of movement. Oh, and then, yeah, nice. Just a little quick look at where Astrid is.
As Bladebeak comes running, you just hear through the stone, and you hear Paka just yell out,
Hark, hear now the footsteps of war.
and then the knights all look towards him, and as you land, he's just like,
Oh, hi, guys.
like reaches up and just begins to rub Bladebeak.
Killian motions for him to climb on Bladebeak.
His massive backpack and the weight that he's currently bearing is far too much for Bladebeak to be able to carry both.
Right, mules. Mules are weird. Okay.
Also looking at him is just like, it's cute little guy. He can carry like almost 1,000 pounds effortlessly. So it is definitely mules are weird. At the end of your turn, Vincent, you are up.
I don't explode.
Vincent.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Killian, with the flames that are dancing around you, you take 18 points of cold damage as the fire erupts, and you are no longer on fire.
As he sees that going off, he assumes his own will go off soon, but it's fine. He'll put a hand on Jojo's shoulder and he'll walk around and be like, "It's okay, you can head off in that direction as well, dear."
Okay.
He'll strut up right next to this knight and just hope you're having a lovely day, dear. Because I'll be taking it from you. And you can see this like smoke start withering around Vincent and like seeping into the ground around them, and then like tendrils of black ink spike up from the ground and literally suck the essence from them and move them back into Vincent as he casts Within Bloom.
Okay, what kind of save is this?
I think it's a con save, but they will take damage regardless. So.
Oh, okay. Well then, as this aura of tendrils begins to absorb the life from these three,
Really nice.
you recover the amount of damage you deal, right? It's not
No,
like
I
you
just
recover how
get
much
to-
hit points they lose?
No, I just get to roll one of my hit dice.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, so they will take 5 necrotic damage. It is a con saving throw. If they fail, we'll take 10.
They bring their hands, like you bring your hands, well, as you cast this spell, the darkness seeps down and begins to move up. It goes around their bodies, and they're just slamming on their own armor, some of which trying to just cut the ropes to get these tendrils out. And then as they do so, you see their bodies just fall away, and the armor hits the ground as they flitter away to ash.
I regain 5 hit points.
And the darkness dissipates after the energy siphons from them to you. The remaining soldiers who are witnessing this carnage continue to flee. As they run off of the battlefield, you guys hear above you. You stare up. I need everyone here to roll a group intimidation check.
My turn wasn't done.
Okay. What do you... Okay, yeah, for sure. What's the rest of your turn?
So Vincent's gonna take another step forward to head in the direction of Paka and Killian. And then as a bonus action, can he look up? Can he see the birds in the distance? How far is it from him?
A ray from you right now, probably about 100-ish feet and another 60 feet in the air.
Cool. He'd like to... Oh no, he cast a spell. I can't cast a bonus. Oh no, I can. Yeah, no, this is not going to be long enough. Yeah, Killian his turn right now.
Okay. As you move off to the side, you guys have
Do
created...
I get hurt?
Oh, thank you. Everyone who basically acted pre the Anthian soldiers' turns has a specific flame, and then the rest have other specific flame. As the flame explodes, you take 12 points of cold damage.
That was a 17 on that intimidation check you had asked for.
Beautiful. Can I get that from all of y'all? Roll for Paka, who has been surprisingly intimidating this round.
What were we rolling again? It was
Intimidation.
Intimidate the eagle.
Oh.
So-
Spare us.
Selene turns, runs, and makes it basically to over here, before tripping and falling and slamming into the
Oh,
ground,
no.
and being as little intimidation as possible. And as the
I
eagle
know, Blade
turns,
rolled a 1. I feel like it stood there vibrating. It didn't do anything.
that's what Selene did too. It's now just on the ground vibrating. The eagle turns, faces towards you, and then as this, you guys have been slaughtering, and then the eagle begins to make its descent towards you, undeterred by the fear of what may come. Getting closer than previously, you see the spear once again ring through the air, flip around, and then just turns back, throws the spear down, straight down, maybe 100 feet away from you, and you guys see the spear curve almost as though it's alive and begin to move towards you all. Are you all within 30 feet of each other is the only question. So, Matilda.
Oh, looks like it.
Oh, and Selene's 30 feet.
Yeah, it's a nice little line for you if you had.
Here's what
I
I'm
just
gonna
don't know if these spells work in 30 feet of the original person you cast it on. Is usually what it does.
Here's what I'm going
Is
to
it
say.
the-
I moved Selene without thinking of this, but she was like on the other side. She was over here. So I don't really find it fair to just continue the chain as a result of this, my roleplay. So Selene was here at the end of combat. Matilda, you are 35 feet from Selene. You are 45 feet from Jojo. Vincent, you are within 30.
She's 25
Paka's
feet
in
from
30.
Matilda. You might have difficult terrain on.
Oh, I do. Thank you. So 25 feet there. Jojo's
Also,
40.
is
And then
the
everyone else is
spear-
30. I'm going to
is-
finish this one first, and then I will answer any questions. And then Astrid is over here, 25 feet away. So, Selene and Matilda, you do not have advantage on this dexterity saving throw. Jojo, you have advantage on the dex save. Everybody else rolls a straight dexterity saving throw.
I was gonna say, is the spear intimidated by me? I got a 22. I'm very intimidating.
That one was a group check, unfortunately.
Oh, darn.
You do see the spear shivers ever so slightly.
Okay, decent.
Jojo,
Oh,
success.
damn.
Vincent, success. Bladebeak failed. Matilda, that is a success. Selene and Hawk,
Ooh, kill you.
dex save. Selene and Paka both fail.
No.
So, this harsh-looking spear, tipped with the wings of an eagle, as far as you can discern, flies in and begins to spin to the point where it becomes just a blue flame wreathed, or I'm sorry, a golden flame wreathed drill that tears through the battlefield, impacts into Selene, and just rips right through her right side before turning and just drifting over towards you, Matilda. You manage to dodge out of the way, and the flames lick slightly at you. You take 5 points of fire damage, but that's it. It circles and continues, moving towards Jojo. You dodge out of the way. Vincent, you dodge out of the way. Both of you take 5 points of fire damage. The last thing, it curves up and flies down, slams into Paka, and just tears right through the side of his chest. Paka hits the ground. It circles around and immediately in that one motion flies upwards towards you, Killian, and just slams into your back full brunt, and then goes through the bottom of Bladebeak to hit you, and then takes its attention towards Astrid, and you see it kind of hover for a moment before returning up towards the eagle. That eagle looks like it's about to land. You guys have some time to get away, but those who were hit, Paka and Killian, you
Are
take...
we out of initiative order?
At current, this is just what it is. I will end your guys' initiative when it comes to the end of this narrative. So, Paka and Killian, and Bladebeak. Bladebeak did not succeed. All of you take 21 points of piercing damage and 5 points of fire.
That puts all of us down to 0.
Paka is unconscious. Killian is unconscious. Bladebeak is unconscious. And now you guys are outside of
Spell is
initiative.
no longer on Matilda. The warding bond.
You all begin to run up. In the time that had previously happened, so Matilda, I'm going to put you back here for now.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
In
that's what I
the
wanted to
round,
know.
in the round, Vincent and Jojo are the only ones who can get up to them at this point in time. So the two of
Tobias
you, what do you
time?
do?
Tobias time, because I see all three of them drop, and I know it's going to take a bit of time to get them back up. And I know Matilda, Selene, and Jojo can all heal people with potions and stuff. I'm going to look towards the bird, and I'm going to distance cast Hold Person. Oh, it's a creature. Is there a driver on the bird?
There
Yes,
is.
the
There is the
Valkyrie.
Valkyrie.
I'm going to distance cast Hold Person on her. That'd be
She had to get
120
closer
feet.
for this attack, so she is within range. The hold person is a wisdom saving throw.
It is. DC is 15. How close are they? They're within 60 feet? Because then I would use Dissonant Whispers. Or not.
They
dissonant,
are- They're probably about 90 feet away from you.
oh, okay. Never mind. Not Dissonant Whispers. I meant Unsibling Words. But I can't do this. That's fine. So I can distance cast that.
You reach your hand up, and you just enforce your will upon this person. And as you see the spear pull back, the body goes rigid.
Okay.
Holding onto the reins, the just hardened mass on top of this eagle. The eagle looks up for a brief moment, craning its head back. Wings lift, and taking in the wind underneath, the eagle begins to ascend, making distance between you and the knight on its back.
Okay. She's still frozen, but she gets a new save at the end of each round.
So the eagle has now begun to distance itself from you. Jojo,
Yes.
do you do anything in this instance? Vincent
I
has run
will
up to the three fallen.
I'm gonna run up to Killian and feed her a greater potion of healing. Which is 44 plus 4. So that is 15 points of healing.
Yes. Killian, you open your eyes. The wound on your back of the spear that had just torn through your torso is gone.
Could you get a P.A.K.A.?
Yeah. We're not in combat, right? So I can just do that.
Selene begins to run forward as she stands her ass back up and grabs onto Matilda as well. As the two of you begin running, she can make it 5 more feet. And you guys end up right here. As we continue down the turn order, Jojo, you're good. And then as this happens, Matilda and Selene, you just about get up to the group. As Killian, you begin to heal P.A.K.A. Go ahead and roll that healing.
Got a saving throw request.
That was before.
Okay.
I needed to target someone. Just
Fair
ignore
enough.
that.
Fair enough. All right. Yeah. Cure wounds, level 1, because I think I'm out of level 2. Oh no, I'm not. Yeah. I'll use a level 2 on Paco.
Now, here's the thing. If we wanted to get up faster, Matilda can heal within 30 feet if she sees someone. So I could use the healing light on Paca, and then you could heal Blade Beak, and then we can hustle out of here.
I think as you...
Blade Beak is not gonna heal that quickly, so
No? Okay.
Yeah, it takes a minute.
we'll pass them.
Sorry.
You run forward. Do you cast a healing light on Paca, though? You can see that Killian is currently healing Paca. Up to
No,
you.
if Killian's doing it, I'll leave it.
You cast this heal upon Paca. None of you need to roll death save because of the quick action of your allies.
Do we feel like we could get away, or is there a good chance we might get interrupted by other knights? Looking where we're headed.
Looking where you're headed, this seemed to be the contingent of knights that was sent here. You do not see any additional.
Did we lose
Okay.
Astrid?
Astrid has run off. She has had 2 rounds to flee. You can still see her in the distance. She is 120 feet past the edge of the
Okay.
map this way.
Okay, we'll head after her then.
You all begin to run. I need you to roll a dexterity ability check to keep up with her.
With the healing, that's 2d8 plus 3 would be a max of 19.
19, so
So-
minimum 9.
9.
So Paca, this was to Paca, right?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, perfect.
I'll bring that up to a 16, Adrian, for my dex thing.
Okay,
Does having 40 feet of movement help with this dexterity check at all?
I'll give you an additional 2.
Does having my speed halved make it disadvantage?
You can dash to keep up with her base speed. She is actually dashing right now, so you do have disadvantage on this check.
Yeah, that's I was.
But you would either way with 1 level of exhaustion.
Oh, well.
Ooh.
Dex save or check?
Just a check.
Okay.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Understandably. Wait, actually, I have not rolled for Paka.
And did
This
you roll
could be the
Desaulniers?
difference. It did.
Come on, Paka.
Paka's
extra
speedy.
movement speed.
Paka's
So-
actually quite speedy. His usual speed fails him though. As you guys begin to move,
Could I have inspired him?
you can. So that would add a d6.
Yes.
There's a 3 on the d6. So as you call out to Paka and you begin to give him this oration of inspiration, he turns and stands and he's just like,
You're right. I can do it. I can't do anything.
and you didn't say any of that. And he stands and begins to run. He grabs everyone's hands. And those of you who succeeded just lift him off the ground as his legs underneath him. And you all begin to move at pace with Astrid, keeping up with her.
Yay, Paka! I just meant because Jojo rolled really bad. He just picks up Jojo and runs her. Just like this huge half orc, this tiny Lizalden.
As you all begin to chase after Astrid, keeping stride, and bring you back to the 4th floor.
Ooh, this music's nice.
Inspiration. Continuing to run past the burning plains. Another 3 hours passed. However, it's a new day, a new you. You continue over into the ocean where Astrid collapses at the edge of the water. And the waves fly up towards her, not caring in the slightest of her situation nor her exhaustion. As the water rushes over her, at first with a minor look of like, yes, come to me, this will be refreshing. Boom! Just slams into her and you see her floored. And just leaning back, she makes her way over towards the edge and sits down on the glassed canopy and looks around at the desolation and the flames of the warfare behind her, looking out towards the distance. And she stands, gives a single breath, and begins to walk forward. And beneath her, you hear a serene song come from her lips. She calls out, just a beautiful hymn. Beneath her, a pale blue flame ignites, and with it dancing a golden one, until the two become one underneath, forming just a path. And with every step that she takes, striding over the ocean's surface, it creates a new small bit of land underneath her.
Is it a spell? Did you just cast a spell?
She's casting a spell.
Astrid, we've seen so far, does not have an ash bond, huh?
No, like you've never seen her.
Nor have we seen any of the other
Disrobe,
knights
but-
that just cast a bunch of spells have ash bonds, huh?
None
There's a
visible.
couple. You do know there is races that have innately spellcasting abilities.
Yeah, but
this
not
seems-
humans.
If you could call these humans.
They look like humans.
There's other races that look like humans that aren't humans.
Like Asimar? Asimar look a little different.
Kalashtar.
Flashstar, they got the weird eye thing. Not to be judgmental.
This is just Bianca talking. Vincent's not
Yeah.
doing this.
Are we chasing after her on this little land bridge she's creating, or is she only making enough land for herself?
She's water walking, but we don't have to worry about that. We can just walk on it too.
Yeah, I imagine that we would start walking after, right?
Yeah.
As you all continue to stride forward, chasing after her towards the rose-covered archway. Taking your stride, you hear behind you in the distance. But you continue unhindered. And as you reach the arch, Astrid sits and just looks towards it with a look of desire and hesitation before eventually striding forward and entering in. And that is where we will end today's session. Thank you all so much for coming. And until next time, bye everybody.
Ah!